We got Bud's origin in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, we could. I'm down to talk about. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Let's just let it meander.
Go and do whatever.
Yeah, let's let it meander.
So,
let's just let it go.
That's what I like about. That's what I like about having my best pals here is because it doesn't matter. We just go and everyone's going to be entertained. And if they're not, then don't follow the fucking program.
Don't watch.
Yeah. All right, jabronis, we're back.
We're live.
And just like I promised, a very special episode.
Huge.
It's pretty big.
Not only do we have additional technology finally instead of this one mic dick dance that we've been doing, we got some of the most special guests, the specialist guests that you could possibly imagine.
Bestest
my brothers.
friends.
The only thing better would be if Nicky Sticks himself was here for the program.
Best friends that anyone could have.
That's it. So, welcome back to the Bone Crusher Maloney.
Thank you for having me on again.
It's great to have you here, and we'll talk about why you're here in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
And then introducing
First time ever.
for the first time ever,
Hi.
Brandon
How
Joshua Porsche Roper Hubbard the 25th.
It's an honor and a privilege to
Awesome,
be here.
Huge.
Another brother.
Huge episode.
Super
Yeah.
excited that you guys are here.
Yeah.
Banji, can you do me a favor and slide in just a little bit so that the camera can get you in all your glory?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm
I'll
just
slide
a
in
little guy,
anywhere
so
you tell me
I'm
to.
hiding behind all the gear. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
You just see a nose right now, but
The nose plays.
it always plays. That's an Ocean's reference, guys. It's a movie.
Get with it.
But thank you guys for being here. For all you idiots listening from last week, I told you we had a special guest episode coming your way, and this is what it is. So we don't have an agenda like usual with my guests. We usually don't. We just kind of shoot the shit and kind of go from there. And it hasn't disappointed yet. We do have, though, as always, a cage fact. So let's just get that knocked out of the way first, and then we can kind of get into why we're all here and what we're doing and all that good stuff. So let's step into the cage.
Ooh.
Okay, let's run.
Well,
Stand by.
okay. Here I am. First time.
First time, long time.
All right, so
First time, last time.
could be. Today's Into the Cage fact is proudly sponsored by Bradley's Bradley's sleeveless contraceptives. Are you tired of rolling on a condom and immediately losing your raging bone daddy because it just doesn't feel the same? Well, worry no more, fellas, because with Bradley's sleeveless contraceptives, you get the perceived protection of a condom, but the pleasure of raw dogging it because it's sleeveless. So to get your first pack today, visit www.penissleeve.com and use the promo code insemination to get 5% off your first pack of sleeves.
Wow.
This is going to be a hell of an episode.
Yeah.
Put the kids to bed.
This is when I told the sponsors out there, the potential sponsors, this is who we were getting. Bradley hit me up immediately.
Yeah.
He was text blasting me, email blasting me, DM blasting me, and was like, I need to advertise for the penis.
It's a good product. It's a great product.
It really is. There's none better.
You know nothing about that product.
There's none more reliable than a sleeveless
I've
sleeve.
heard good
Right.
stories about it.
Reviews.
A guy I know.
Yeah.
One day.
I've never used it myself, but I've heard good things.
Good things. Nothing but good things.
Good things.
So, Banji, you're the special guest today. Like, you're the first time guest. So obviously, people know that who listen. I don't think you listen, but people who do listen know that I ask first time guests if they want to contribute a cage fact. There's obviously no pressure, but I know you brought one today. So
I did. So my cage fact for the day is: did you know that Mr. Nicolas Cage bought a $150,000 octopus for the distinct purpose of helping him become a better actor?
and
That's it. That's all I got.
Only
Mind
reason.
blown.
Yeah.
Did he? And there was no explanation.
No explanation as to why he thought it would help him become a better actor. I think the tentacles spoke to him.
Something.
Yeah.
A lot of things speak to him.
Yeah.
If you look historically back on previous cage facts, that's not the first wild purchase he's made in the name of acting improvements. So,
That is
A lot of questionable investments.
yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, being the biased Cage guy that I am, I always go back to, while he could be spending his money paying off his back taxes, a lot of his extra money goes to charities.
Yeah.
So he buys like crap for himself, and then he buys like schools for orphans. It's a very strange dichotomy there.
Yeah.
So
you give and you take with how weird he is.
Did anybody identify how much it cost for that octopus situation?
Yeah, I said 100.
You said 100.
I literally just said that. It's okay.
We can edit that out.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No, that's the good thing about the LPDS. It's all
We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we're live. We're drinking. We're getting stupid.
Filmed in front of a live studio audience.
It is, we do have a live audience
of one.
here. Don't say anything though.
Yeah. Shut
But-
your fucking mouth.
So
Just kidding.
I'm just kidding. We'll have him back right there.
So, Bud, you came down with an entourage. It's your birthday weekend.
Birthday weekend.
So now everybody knows all of our feelings on adult birthdays in reality and how they're fucking malarkey.
Yeah.
And that if you're not like a World War II veteran or a child, you shouldn't be celebrating a birthday. But it kind of worked out with like timing of like you not really having to work, or you could take off work, and then me being down here on like a beachfront area. So you decided like,
Yeah.
fuck it, we'll just
Take a weekend, come down.
hang out and just take advantage before I head back up, out of the war zone here. So you came down for that. Now, part of your entourage, I'm not going to identify because I don't want to speak ill of the innocent here. But I got she DM'd me and was like, hey, it would be awesome. I know it's short notice, but it'd be awesome if we could get somebody else down here or up here, whatever, to celebrate with
Some of my
you.
friends.
Your friends.
And I have
because
so
we
very few friends.
Right, because we haven't seen each other, like, you and I see each other pretty
Yeah.
regularly, but we haven't seen, like, the whole brotherhood intact for a long time.
Yeah.
So she hit me up, she's like, let me see what you can do. And I initially just dismissed it. Oh, we said brothers?
Yeah.
Every time we say brothers, I guess we got, which is like 18 times already.
Yeah. Well, is it each one of us says brothers? Or all of us
Or
says
the collective
brothers?
Doing it on purpose now.
So anyway, she hits me up and she, asks. And I dismissed it. I was like, 2 weeks, I'm not even trying. And then I happened to be talking to you, Banji, on the phone. We were just doing our normal brotherly catch-up.
Yeah, I was driving to Joshua Tree last weekend.
Right, that's right. And I was like, oh, damn, you got cheap tickets. I wonder if you can get cheap tickets here because Bud's coming down. And you're like, well, let me look.
Yeah.
And we saw some tickets. We found a way. They were slightly more expensive than we thought, but we made it work.
But it was worth it. No price is too extravagant for the Bone Crusher.
It was a huge surprise, too.
Yeah, and then what we did was I didn't even tell, what's her name? Patient X.
Weapon X.
X, that I was doing because I wanted to keep it a super surprise.
Right.
Because just in case it fell through for whatever reason, I didn't want to get anybody's hopes up whatsoever. I also didn't want you to be snooping around doing recon and then happen to see Banji's coming and then ruin it.
Well, also, I'm not a big birthday guy, too, so I'm not expecting, surprises and, a quick getaway, hang out for a weekend.
To get out.
Right,
right, and that's all we need.
I will say this. You two don't like celebrating birthdays. I, on the other hand, like to use them as an excuse to get ridiculously drunk and hang out with my friends. I know, it's very strange, It's so off character
You use
for
a
me.
good dump as an excuse to get drunk with your friends.
Yeah, I like.
Which is
like
fine, which
is
is good. The reason is fine. I get it. But I just have a problem with it. I don't know what it is.
It's okay.
But,
it was a huge surprise.
So, we actually... I guess I lied.
Oh, yeah. You lied big time. To my face.
I used
multiple times.
Military tradecraft, if you will. And told you we had to go to the airport to pick up a package for work, like a case.
It was a good package.
Yeah,
it's
a very nice package. I've heard good things about it.
I tried to keep the information low key. I didn't want to be like, oh, we got to pick up a black package for work or anything like that, because then it would
it's an African American package.
It's a huge black African American package. Wait a second here. So I didn't want to do that, but I hope you were actually
This
surprised.
Very much
racism
so.
is killing me inside.
The more I talked, the more I felt like you would be putting pieces together.
Not at
because I
all.
was like, you want to stay Saturday
Yeah.
so that we can have our, because we were planning on recording an episode anyway.
Right.
And then I was like, what the hell can I say that is not going to get him, is going to keep him off the case?
It's a surprise 5 years to the day.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
That we
Yeah.
we talked about in the last
We did
episode.
a little bit of, we did talk
Murdered
about it a
us.
little
We
bit
did.
about the day you died. I don't remember how in depth we got into it though.
That was a great day.
That was the
For-
30th
yeah.
birthday?
Yeah, 30.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
The funnest thing about that day, other than the McDonald's story that I think you guys did cover the last
showed the
episode.
picture
We got the
of it, too.
pictures.
The picture,
yeah.
that's right.
You can re-show it here.
Yeah. Was that sausage and banana pepper pizza we got from that
Pizza
place.
500.
Pizza
500.
500. That shit was so
R.I.P..
delicious.
Mhm.
Oh, it closed?
Closed. Yeah.
R.I.P. guys.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
opened
so
up
we were just talking about that yesterday or 2 days ago.
They
or
opened up a
whatever.
Manhattan pizza now.
Really?
So it's actually run by adults and not burnouts. Like it used to be.
The pizza was good though.
Yeah, I mean, something about those burnouts. They
And
make
we had
pizza.
the good system. Hello. We had fun here, folks. We had a good system
I just missed my
of
bell.
crushing a slice or two of pie and then knocking out some push-ups, so we were burning the calories too.
And naturally, you write them on the box.
We would tally the amount of or the sets that we would do
Yeah.
of like 30 to 50 or whatever it was. So
Yeah, that's
Maybe
how I got
I'll
these
keep it
fucking
over
guns, baby. Ooh. Hell
Good?
yeah. Super good.
yeah, so this is like it's becoming unofficially like a 5-year reminder to
Yeah.
you. Again, we were talking about this earlier. Was like because of your I just spit of COVID everywhere. Because of your significant, I would call it a significant role in the demise of this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to come back every 5 years as a reminder, like remember what you did to
We
me.
can,
Well,
and
it's-
we could talk about that
Let's
too.
go.
you know,
We're gonna
Let's
have
go.
to.
Let's go into it. Okay.
How you went to the dark side.
Yeah, because when I got to Embry-Riddle, I was.
We're starting.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah. Here we are.
Another Brotherhood Origins
Yeah.
story.
This is
Brothers.
look, by the way,
Yeah.
baseball and this, the only good thing about Embry Riddle,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know how much I bitch about this constantly. I have to. It's a constant reminder.
Mm-hmm.
The only good. I don't even like saying the name because it gives him too much publicity
Yeah.
with all the hundreds and hundreds of fans that listen here. But anyway,
Yeah.
what was it 2005, right?
2005. Got to Embry-Riddle. I was the most straight-laced kid you could possibly imagine. I went to church every Sunday. I didn't drink. I maybe had 20 beers by the time that I got to college.
In your whole life, like
In my
that
whole
full-
life.
Yeah.
As a fucking almost an adult in 2005, when kids were known to drink when they were fucking 14 and just party their asses
Yeah.
off. Me, not so much. Straight laced, was a virgin, wanted to remain a virgin until I got married.
Nerd.
The parallels that we
Yeah.
have in our lives
Yeah.
is eerie. you
Yeah.
know?
No, it's all about evolution, and this guy really spurred my evolution to fucking Darth Vader.
The Emperor.
If we're talking about changing. So I got to Embry-Riddle, and I was just straight laced. And then this young man took me under his wing and showed me things that opened my world. And that sounded really gay.
It was
Not that I
open my asshole.
Jesus.
I mean, hey, it's
Yeah.
on your mind. No one was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, I mean, we started drinking. We were going to Flip Cup Tuesdays.
At Cancun Lagoon.
At Cancun Lagoon.
That's right.
That's right. And we were
They'd flip so you'd order a drink.
Yeah.
And then the bartender
Flip
would
it
flip
Tuesday,
it,
yeah.
flip
Flip
a,
it Tuesdays. Yeah.
a coin.
Yeah.
And if it landed in your favor, you got the drink for
Free
free.
drink, yes.
I still remember my best night there. I probably went 11 for 12 on screwdrivers, free screwdrivers.
You'll never
I don't think
match
I've had.
that.
I
You'll
don't think
never
I've had a
match that
screwdriver
like,
since then.
That level of success.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I
Yeah.
remember the first time that I went out drinking with you guys. It was me, you, Schumann,
Shulman.
Letko, and Driver. And we went to Arena
These are all guys on the baseball team that you played with.
That I played with. This was during the Goo days.
So your first year on the team was 2006.
2006.
So that was my sophomore year.
Yes.
So to preface it, we talked about it before. A lot of people on the Embry-Riddle team were older guys. So I was pretty much the youngest on the team.
Yeah.
And they had welcomed me in 2005. And so it's, a 19, 20-year-old guy hanging out with everybody who's legally able to drink. So now it's my second year, and now we have only one young guy.
Yeah.
So we needed to bring him aboard.
Yeah.
So I was kind of the
bridge,
the middleman to get you to this.
It was like the mentorship you never knew
that I needed.
You needed.
I needed. Yeah. And I remember ordering a vodka Coke, and for the entire year. The entire year, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how to drink.
That's really funny you say that because I used to drink vodka Cokes like Bacardi Limon, or not Bacardi, but like vodka Cokes, thinking like I've had vodka before once, and I know Coke's good. So I just mix them.
It's a natural progression.
It's secular.
It's not good at all. But I had the same thing. I don't know why I said fucking Bacardi, you idiot. Anyway.
But Schumann ridiculed me for the entire year, my freshman year, because for that drink choice. For some other things as well, but for that one in particular.
Yeah.
And that was my introduction with this guy.
So when you started transitioning to the dark side and letting the hatred through, it would be me, Vic, who was on the team also, Swanee.
Yep.
We would take you to the dorm rooms.
Yeah.
The ones that were like hotels.
I lived in those dorm rooms. Yeah, because I was on the team there.
McKay Hall, the one that they were motels before.
It was an old motel, and the doors opened outside.
Correct.
So it was just like a Motel 6 that they just bought.
So we'd go out, do whatever all night, be calling it a night, going home.
Yeah.
And
Swanee would pull up in his fucking Subaru hatchback. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We would let Banji out, and he would go up to the dorm rooms and bang on the door.
First, I would also take my shirt off first.
Yeah, the shirt was definitely off.
I would take my shirt off.
And I'm gonna do what I can to find a picture of that, because I remember a picture.
If we find a picture, we'll put it up here.
Right there.
And I would bang on the front doors of somebody's dorm room, and they would come to the door, and I would just stand there like a statue, flexing as hard as I could.
And we'd be 100 yards away
in a car, just yelling obscenities. And these poor kids, they're just trying to get their pilot's license. They're just trying to fly.
No interest in women going out.
No. They wanted to go to their band parties and jerk off in tube socks. What was funny was that was before I met you guys officially.
Yeah.
I'll talk about when I met you.
Oh, yes. Let's start
But at the time, I was still very much on the same page as Banji, even probably further back because I didn't have a mentor like you at the time.
Yeah.
So I was in those dorms. You just luckily happened to miss my room with that shit at 2 a.m. because
it could have been you.
It wasn't because I would have remembered.
No, I'm saying a couple doors down. It could have been you.
Yeah, it was literally like 2 doors down. I remember there was one instance. I think there is a picture somewhere online, and I knew that dude lived literally 2 doors down from me, and I was just thinking like it could have been because I promise you I was back there. I was polishing off. I used to buy the Tostitos queso dip jar from Einstein's Bagels and a bag of chips. I would polish that off. I would fire off 1 to 2 JOs if my roommates weren't around. And then I'd be in bed ready for school the next day, even though it was a goddamn weekend.
Oh, what?
And it could have, if I got the knock, I don't know what I would have done.
Oh.
I would have had RBD like a big in 10 in sweats.
I can't imagine knocking on the door and seeing Sarge walk out with his fucking Italian schlong just fucking raging through his fucking sweats.
I had hair that too. I had like a coiffed hair.
Oh shit. That was probably pretty loud.
We'll figure it out.
There's one more thing that we used to do. This wasn't directly like that you would do. It was just something that we did. We would go. So the frats at Embry-Riddle were just the worst. Like, and
I was in the co-ed aviation one.
I mean, wow.
Because I was that guy.
So,
fly, and I was a loser.
Those frat guys thought they were just the coolest. And, I don't know frats at other big schools. Maybe it's fun to be a part of it. But we would go to these frat parties.
There was the only one that had the house, right?
Kappa Alpha.
Yeah. We would go to these frat parties and walk through the house and, pretend like we were part of it. And we would leave the house, go to the side of the house, find their power supply, and shut all their power off and end their party, and then just leave. That's one of the funniest things that I can remember.
We did something similar to that later on, like our senior year. We went to some house party. We didn't know. I think it was like you and me and maybe like one or two other people that we knew there. Mm-hmm. We went. We had a box of different beers and alcohols in it for us, and we sat in the kitchen, and all these broads would come up, like chicks, girls, whatever. Sorry, I don't want to get canceled here.
Females.
They would all come up to us because we had the booze. Everybody else was tapping the keg or whatever, and I think we did something like that where we like raided the fridge, stole more booze, procured it.
Yes, we respectfully confiscated it because there were a lot of underage people there that shouldn't be.
We had to make sure that we were taking care of everybody there. So, and then we just both out.
And then we left.
If you turned the power off or not?
I don't think that I did, but I feel like I remember that party because there was a certain ex-volleyball player there who used to date one of my roommates that I ended up taking home that night.
Yeah. It was.
She was a rebel, so to speak, and
correct.
And so all full disclosure, all of my memories of Embry-Riddle are based around sex.
And alcohol.
Like Robert
sex, alcohol, baseball. SAB.
That's it. Those were my three focuses.
Yeah.
All of life is sex.
That's what it is. Robert California style. We'll do a quick rewind.
Yeah.
So I get there same time as you, freshmen.
Both freshmen, 2006.
Right.
Or 2005, 2006.
Fall of 05. Now, I get there, I am doing ROTC. Like, I got a scholarship at the time. I got to plug in here to make sure we have enough power, folks.
Yeah.
I'll just cut this out.
Juice up.
I got there, fall of 05. At the time, I had an ROTC scholarship, which I ended up losing because of poor GPA. But...
Oh, because you were partying?
No big deal.
No.
It was the queso dip and KO session. It was before baseball.
My dick had blisters.
I'm a super nerd. All I'm there for is to do as best I can in school. I need to re-up.
I'll re-up, yeah.
Yeah, if you can get me the
You can always pause, right?
What's that?
Pause and cut out if you need to.
Yeah, well, I'll just cut it out in the editing.
Right. Back.
And we're back.
Yeah, we did a quick pause. So I get there. I am still very much a similar mindset as Banji. No
straight-laced nerd.
Straight-laced. My goal in my entire life was to be in the Air Force, to fly in the Air Force, and not have sex until I was married. That was like a goal.
Throw up.
So I get there. That was my mindset. I was like, I'll just looking to be all that I can be the best of the best of the best, sir.
Of course.
With honors.
We're in Air Force ROTC class. It's the first day. It's once a week class at the time for freshmen. And the first day was introduction day, where everyone's like talks about where they're from and all this other bullshit. And I'm like, hey, I'm from Jersey. I played baseball in high school. I want to fly in the Air Force, and I'm going to try out for the baseball team because I love baseball and I want to be on the team. And
I came in. I had arrived like a week and a half early to try out for the baseball team because I was a walk-on. I had sent my scout video when you had the VCR shoulder cam.
I sent a scout video too. Yeah, it did not bode well for me apparently.
Can we find those videos?
Honestly, I think my mom probably does have mine. So I had arrived a little bit earlier and I had tried out and it went well and I made the team. So Sarge and I are sitting in this ROTC class. He introduces himself, and it comes to me, and I'm like, my name's Brandon. I'm from Atlanta. I'm also on the baseball team. So anytime this guy wants to throw, just let me know. I'm here. And that was it.
Wait, so here's the thing. In my mindset, in my head, that's my new friend.
Yeah.
Like, this guy acknowledged my existence. He's a baseball mind, like me.
You're in.
Yeah.
That's it. So I'm gonna find, like, I'm a mental.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna find him. We're gonna have a catch eventually.
In my head, I'm like, I'm just trying to be cool. I never want to talk to this guy again. Ever again. This guy's a fucking loser. He's not gonna help me get any ass at this school at all.
You can take one look at me. By the way, at the time, I gotta caveat this or preface this. In ROTC as a freshman, because there were so many ROTC cadets in Embry-Riddle, in the freshman year, they didn't have enough like uniforms to give out to freshmen. So they gave you a detachment T-shirt, and they told you to wear jeans until they were able to order uniforms for you. Now, I took it to the next level, and I ironed and starched my jeans to be like a military pressed, like crease down the jeans. So I'm wearing a detachment T-shirt tucked into dungarees.
That's very Michael Scott.
Yes, exactly like that. Ironed and pressed and starched like you couldn't believe. And I'm trying to be friends with an actual athlete.
I want to spotlight how different we were at this moment. You starched your jeans. I was wearing these Jabot jeans at the time.
That's right.
So these jeans were all the rage back then. They were super billowy, and they had 3 Velcro straps down the legs. Oh my God,
you wore those.
It was very Atlanta of you.
It was very black of me. And that's about
Let's call it like it is.
Yeah.
That's about as polite as we can say.
And I'm wearing these jeans, and I have the bottom leg straps as tight as it can go. So it looks like I'm wearing one of those sumo costumes where you pump air into
like almost like hammer bands.
Exactly. That's exactly what it looked like. So that's how different Sarge and I are.
Yeah, so I can imagine anybody taking one look at me was like, no. Meanwhile, we finished class, and I know I'm going to see him next week. So the rest of my brain power is not going to be towards introductions for the rest of the week's classes. It's going to be towards how can I introduce myself to him in a more official way and be like, hey, man, let's have that catch.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm planning. I'm doing like Home Alone, like scheming with like maps and drawings and like, what if he says no, then I got to come in with this approach and like just an absolute fucking psychopath.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm not thinking about it at all.
At all. No, you could have been farther away mentally.
You know what I was thinking about?
Meanwhile, I was actually playing baseball.
Yeah, that's right. He was out practicing and working out.
What I was thinking about, my second day after that class at Embry-Riddle, I'm walking around campus with my then roommate, who was a psychopath, by the way.
And Scott or Phil Stewart?
Phil Stewart.
I got a story about Phil.
We're walking around, and we passed Doolittle Hall.
Another dorm, right? Yeah.
Another dorm.
Dorm.
It was an indoor dorm. It was a nicer one. Actually, it was the second nicest one after those new constructs where Einstein's Bagel.
That's where I was my freshman year.
Yeah.
And we're walking past there, and on the first level at night, it was like at 6 p.m. dark. There comes a girl out of her bathroom. Her windows are wide open, and she is butt-ass naked, tits out and everything.
That's like New York City.
And we're just like, college is going to be awesome. We're high-fiving. We walked past that room like 3 times.
Meanwhile,
could have got arrested for that. 100%.
Easily. 100%. Meanwhile, I'm in my room scheming how to approach a male. to be
a black male.
Yeah.
With parachute pants.
With parachute dungarees on. So we come to the next week of class. I'm ready. I got the plan. I got my notes just in case. I need a Michael Scott cheat sheet. Gone.
Yeah.
Brandon Roper Hubbard is no longer in the class. He disappeared. I didn't see him again for 3 years.
Your one shot at friendship.
It was already past. I didn't even know I missed my shot. Yeah. All that planning, and that's probably what spiraled me into a little bit of a depression, if you will.
Yeah, well,
I won't blame you, but
so
it hurt.
In between those years until you started on the team, you ended up living with me.
Yes.
Right.
You and I moved into what we call the Island Club.
Island Club.
Oh, yeah.
And you used that hot tub. You used that thing up.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. It was a very I mean, it was
a petri dish of
I don't know.
bacteria.
By the time we all became friends, I don't know. You obviously weren't as dark side as you are now. Clearly.
No. Like we started to get into earlier, he changed me.
Yeah.
It's
for
a
the
slow
worse.
progression.
Yeah. But living together is like 24/7 mentorship, if you
will. It was,
no,
it definitely expedited the process because I remember we would go out, and before we would go out, we would watch Justin Timberlake's fucking Future Sex Love Sounds concert.
The concert, I remember because after we became friends, we watched it a couple times.
I make everybody watch it. It's a prerequisite.
And we would go out, and we would just be like in those feels, in those grooves, and just be trying to
mimic.
Yeah, just trying to mimic it.
It was a fun time living with you.
Yeah.
I remember a few times. It was when your brother was about to go to spring training.
Yeah.
It would be BJ's gonna come stay with us.
God, we're jumping around. So our timeline is so fucked.
I mean, it's in between that. It's in between that.
It's part of it. Yeah. But like that whole.
You were like, oh, BJ's gonna come stay with us. Okay, cool. For 3 weeks. Oh, what?
For a whole month. Yeah.
Okay. And he did.
Yeah.
And then it was fine.
Yeah. Did he do that before I knew you guys too?
He did it like it was every year before he went to spring training.
Because I know he did it a couple times.
For you listeners out there, BJ is my brother, and he was playing with the Mets at the time in their farm system, Kingston and Port St. Lucie and Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was he's better than Tim Tebow. I just had a discussion with somebody a couple days ago that Tim Tebow got invited to spring training again with the Mets. He's fucking garbage.
Didn't he? He finally retired though. I think.
He's still this year. He got invited back to spring training, and he bats 200 in like single A. BJ is way better of a ball player than he is.
Yeah,
no question about it. Anyway,
hi BJ.
Yeah, he's also a better coach. Shout out to the German League Championship coach.
That's right. Yeah, the
Bradley
Bundesliga.
Bundesliga. That's right.
We need like an official timeline book.
Yeah.
Where we can. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it will take a while because we always get off on tangents.
Big time.
Story.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until my junior year, so 07, 08 was when I finally made the team. So I tried out my freshman year. It was a 1-hour tryout. It was pissing rain, so we couldn't even use the infield. We took infield in the outfield.
Yeah.
You were there.
Probably with rubber balls.
We did. We used
batting
machines.
Balls.
Yeah. We took we each got 10 hacks in the cage outside that one of the Williams was pitching.
And they measured your bat speed from behind.
Right, but they also gave us those bomb bats. Those bomb bats that they gave us were composite wood water soaked. So it was like a 16-pound bat. It was the size of me. And you just imagine me with a bat the size of me trying to swing, and they're just like...
I'm trying to imagine you with a normal size bat trying to swing.
I can't wrap my brain around it.
I just try to work the walk. So that was an hour long in the rain. I remember I tried out for infield and outfield, and... You were playing quote-unquote third base when we were doing outfield cutoffs or whatever, throwing to third base. Yeah. And I threw this rainbow shot because it slipped out of my hand and I sucked. So it was just a high like the St. Louis arc down to Banji at third base. And I looked in my head, I was like, that's terrible. And looking at him and the coaches, they were just like, cut.
Fast forward 10 years later when we played on this men's league team, I'm thinking about it now. I apologize if I was a dick when you would throw the ball back and I'd be like...
No, it was a mental thing. It was a mental thing because when I have to throw like short distance, that throw to third base back in the tryout was just me just being not good and also the rain. Mostly not good. But, and I can admit that. I wasn't great. But the mental thing of me throwing short distance, like I was so far in my head of like, should I throw it hard back or should I lob it back or what do I do? I kept thinking about it too much and I ended up like either sailing it over your head or like peppering it into
short
the dirt.
It,
I couldn't, and that was like the yips for sure. And you got pissed, but it was like and you were a dick, and like there was like 2% of me was like
it's an ongoing theme.
Therapy session right now.
It was out, Sarge. 2% of it was like, it's fucking summer ball, it's beer league, but 98% was like, I would be pissed too.
Yeah, but
so I didn't care.
Me being a psycho, I can't turn my brain off in that.
I get it. No, that's true. But I think that was one of the things is like we know each other so well that I know like when you get in the zone and you know when I get in the zone like that. So like it, I felt more bad about it than like pissed at you. Yeah, it's
brothers.
Go for it.
So we got to drink.
Sorry.
That.
Yeah. Here you go.
Thank you.
What are you guys drinking?
We are doing
Coffee.
It's just water, obviously, because we're healthy.
Gatorade.
Yeah. No, this is a tequila that Bud turned us on to. It's the Rocks tequila.
Oh, the Terramana. Yeah, that shit's good.
And I'm making some Mexican mules with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do part-time bartend and manage at a bar in Atlanta. Big Sky. Shout out to Big Sky.
I love that place.
The food there is...
It's the
legit.
buffalo chicken wontons.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah.
A lot of the food is good.
If you guys are ever in Atlanta, please come see me. I will get you fucked up.
Look, here's the thing, and this is why, like, a credit to you.
Bathroom
like,
break.
I know...
Keep going.
Bud's taking a bathroom break.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I know you're quote-unquote dark side now.
Yeah.
But your ability to work at that place and the fact that you're not, like, a problematic alcoholic or in rehab or anything like that, like, I would not be able to... I spent a couple weekends there separately, and there was no way I would either be a drug addict, an alcoholic, or, like, a sex criminal.
It's a trap. It is a trap. It is ruined a few people's lives.
It has to.
So
it's such a good place.
It is. It's a great place, but you have to be disciplined enough to work there to survive. And we had a guy, military guy actually, got a pilot slot in the Navy, was reporting the following week, went out to Big Sky to celebrate, and if you work there, if you work in a bar, everything you get is free. Like it's just I mean, it's standard operating procedure. He comes out to celebrate, gets fucking sloshed.
He was working there already?
He was working there. He was one of our managers.
Oh, okay.
Reporting for his naval assignment for a pilot slot, which you know how hard it is to get.
Welcome back, Chris, for all those podcasts.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And he gets so hammered that he tries to drive home. He drives literally 50 feet to a stop sign.
Right on the corner there?
Right on the corner and falls asleep behind his still running truck.
In drive, probably?
No. It wasn't in drive. Somehow he put it in park. My man was knocked out. We see him from Big Sky's second deck.
Yeah.
And we run out there to try to wake him up because we know what's on the line for this guy. We're banging on the windows. We're screaming his name. We are trying to do everything we can to wake him up.
Out.
Because just fucking out cold. And the only thing that wakes him up, the cops come.
Ugh.
They break his window.
Oh, jeez.
Still doesn't wake up. They unlock the door and physically pull him out of the car, and he finally comes to. Obviously,
does he remember any of that?
Not a single iota of it. And he finally wakes up, and obviously, if you get pinned for drunk driving, you lose your pilot slot.
And depending on the timeline of things, like if the Air Force or the military in general is trying to get rid of people, that's an easy excuse to be like, you're not even in the military, let alone pilot slot.
Yeah, and so he lost it all. So it's very much a trap. But if you navigate it correctly, it's a cornucopia of good times.
That's why I give you so much credit, is because very easily you could have gone down a different path at Big Sky,
100%
in Atlanta, and just been a real problem.
Yeah.
But you
stayed on the shoulder instead of going off.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joel.
Should we talk about that?
Oh,
I mean, we need to get back in the time machine and go back to 2008.
Right. Yeah. So where we? I just got cut from I got cut two years in a row. The second year I broke my foot. had a stress fracture on my foot from, I don't know, nothing. I don't know what. I just
JOing too hard?
Like,
the climax of his JO was...
I was just like kicking the wall with the JOs because I wasn't getting any chicks then still. I didn't get chicks until after college.
Yeah, shout out to chicks, dude.
Chicks, yeah.
Chicks are tight.
So, the second year, I emailed and talked to the coach. At the time was not the Stiegels, not
Williams.
Skippin. It was
the
the
Williams,
Williams.
yeah.
And I was like, hey, I get my cast off the week after tryouts.
They're like, cool, we
don't care.
Like, look, yeah, please, can I go? I was like, I don't even, like, let me just try out. I know you're gonna cut me, but let me just try out. And they're like, we'll think about it. And they never got back to me.
Standard.
Yeah.
Which I get. Like, look, even for them, I get it. Like, why would for one person?
But
who
again,
sucks,
the thing that I still won't understand is if you have anybody reaching out, you had 16 fucking people on the team that year.
Well, that was a problem for them. Like, that was another complete different issue.
Again, the downfall to my arm. Hey, can you pitch again? Yeah, sure. Can you pitch again? Sure. Yeah. And my fault.
We have 9 players in a 65-game schedule.
Yeah.
Like, we need you. Yeah, it was stupid.
Yeah, the Williams were notorious. They were our coaches before the Stiegels. They were notorious for keeping a very, very small team and literally working our asses off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows baseball knows that you cannot maintain a healthy squad with that many people for that amount of time.
Yeah, it's too long. It's too many innings, too many pitches.
And
no, like everything.
You
is
wear
more
your body down.
Yeah,
you wear your body down.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe the success the team had.
Yeah.
But like
I credit that to
I
credit that to the new toughness training manual.
Yeah, memorizing the quotes of the day.
Yeah.
Every day we had to memorize a new quote, and if you didn't remember that quote, the whole team had to run.
It was the pressure to that prepared you for any pressure you could face in a game. And any situation you be in a game was nothing compared to the fucking quote of the day. And somebody would nail the quote of the day and be like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Would it be like they would go down the line and ask everybody? Or
no, just one. It would be you.
Yep. Oh my god.
And that one person was butchering the quote. I would just get up and start fucking running because I knew it was coming. I just get a head start on the whole.
There was one day that always sticks out in my mind. It was a Zach Rabin.
I don't know.
Nobody.
No, he was a skinny redhead kid.
Was it Zach Moore?
Zach Moore.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Rabin. That's from high school. Holy shit.
Close.
just missing by that much. And Coach Williams goes, "You," and he goes, "Nail the details." And we were just like, "Nope." Everybody got up.
I think I brought it up in the last one that we talked about, but they looked for any excuse we could get to make us run.
Yeah.
They would go through I think I talked about this, but they would go through the line if we had a great practice, flawless practice, and see who shaved. Like, did you shave?
Yeah.
No. And then make us run for that. So your face was just like shaving every day. My face was just like, always
cut up and rashed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why I keep this just glorious beard.
And people like, I have people like friends in the military who listen to this, and they were shit talking me when we had Phil and Dangerous Davids on talking about how tough shit was.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Brothers in arms.
Honestly, seriously, thank you.
I do think that. Like, I can't think of it enough. But anyway, they were talking about like shit talking like baseball was the toughest thing, and I was like, listen, I know you guys like maybe went to the Air Force Academy or a military academy and like had your own boot camp and stuff, but we legitimately, and this was after the Williams, you had it tougher than me. Like, we legitimately conditioned and did running and working out and that bullshit more than almost every other team in the school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like I'll wear the shit talking. It's funny to me when they trash me, but I still will defend the fact that like I have never worked out harder and ran more in my personal life than I did with the baseball team.
I will say, hands down, we were the absolute toughest team at that fucking school.
Yeah.
And I'll stand by that any day of the week. If you want to at me, fucking come at me, bro. Seriously.
Yeah.
Come
at him. Like he's a real man. Stop being a text message tough guy to me. Come at a fucking real man.
There was not a team that worked harder, that was in the weight room more, that honestly that was more dedicated to the success of their team than we were. I will say that 100% of the time to 100% of the people.
And it's all relative too. Like that was just, I didn't go to the Air Force Academy, so I don't know what boot camp was like for them or what they had to do every day. So maybe it was tougher for you, but for me personally and for you guys, like,
we weren't getting wet boarded every day, but we were.
No,
it was pretty
I
close.
almost wanted to get like waterboarded as opposed to
waterboarded. I said wet boarded.
I know what you meant.
That sounds way
more
more fun.
I didn't want you to hit me.
Wet work.
But running those hills and doing any sort of gut check whenever we dicked around and got in trouble, brutal.
So I thank God for the Steagles coming in. I will say that 100 times.
For all of us.
Skip,
because I made a team.
Cheese Steg, Thurno, fucking love you.
Those
I don't know if I would have made it the whole 5 years, because I redshirted my freshman year. I don't know if I would have made it my whole 5 years without them coming in. Because we would do some of the most asinine shit and asinine running for things that we could not control. I remember one time after a SCAD
for
series.
Being black.
For being black.
The stupidest shit.
I showed up and they were like, just run. You're black.
Texas Triangles.
Yeah,
you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just you. Black. Go.
Texas Triangles were by far the worst thing.
Oh my God.
We didn't do that too much with the Steagles.
We lost a SCAD series in Daytona Beach, Florida on a Friday. We lost the first game on a Friday night.
With the Williams?
Mm-hmm. With the Williams.
So real quick, SCAD is Savannah College of Art and Design. It's in Savannah, Georgia. It's actually a good school for that sort of thing.
Yes.
Savannah's a great area.
They're one of our rivals.
Huge rival. And for me personally, after when I finally made the team, they were my most hated rivalry.
You hated the coach.
Hated him. And we can talk about that. But
why? Because he used to be a coach. He used to be a player for the Williams and a coach.
Right. He was a player and then eventually a coach for Embry-Riddle. And then
Doug Wallenberg with the handshakes.
Yeah, you do it like this. and
he's pull you in.
Pull you in. I'm losing my mic here.
Yeah,
brutal. But it was a huge rivalry. I hated him with a passion.
Yeah.
But this is before I even got there, and you were still rivals, right?
Yeah.
Was he the coach then?
He was the coach. Mm-hmm. He was the coach, and we lost that Friday game. And as soon as we lost,
we ran after that. Didn't we?
We ran. 29.
So it was just one game. It wasn't the series.
Not the whole series.
Just the Friday night game.
Friday night game. We lost. We ran 29 foul poles. Mm-hmm. And we were out there till like 2:33 in the morning.
And had a doubleheader the next day.
And then had a doubleheader the next day. And we came out the next day, got swept. Mm-hmm. And what happened?
Ran more?
No, they kicked us out of the locker room.
Oh, that's right.
And, and they took our locker room privileges away. So we were out there in the fucking ICI parking lot. Changing before and after practice. Right. In our fucking jockstraps. Teams are walking by. Our fucking dicks are out. It's fucking nuts.
Mayhem.
It's mayhem.
You got that wild dick?
Yeah.
Anteater.
And just poking, just trying to eat things.
Just looking at it, just sniffing for whites.
And that, I mean, I feel like that story is so indicative of just how just fucking mental the Williams were.
I think we were so successful because we would band together.
Yes.
Like,
in spite of them.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's like we did it for each other, not to like.
That was
coaches.
That was one of Skip's famous speeches. You're either gonna do it for me or you're gonna do it in spite of me. But we
definitely
100% we did it in spite of the Williams. 100%.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
God, there were times where,
I kept trying to try out in spite of them because I knew that they weren't gonna pick me. Like I sent the video, and this fucking mic.
Jesus Christ.
I sent the video and I went to a visit for the school before I actually went there. Like still in high school. And it's annoying the shit out of me. But we're leaving
wrap this whole episode.
No, we're leaving it in. And I talked to him. I met with him with my old man, JPL3.
Oh man.
And I was like, "Did you get the
Super
video?"
Mario.
And he's like, "Yeah, I think it's probably in the file somewhere." And I was like, "You fucking guy! Like, I'm never gonna make this team. Whatever." I tried hard on that video, even though it was not good. I think it was a silent film too.
And black and white.
Casablanca.
And I was like, I'm still going to try out, just in spite of your attitude towards me, which is kind of how my life was anyway. Everyone looks at me and is like, no. So that whole
then you made it.
There were a few people that looked at you and said, maybe.
Yeah, well, Skip, I think we're good. No, we're not. I got my knee underneath it. Still not working.
Jesus Christ.
Stand by, folks. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Had some microphone issues on my end because we're dealing with just like complete, ad hoc barracks level in the trenches kind of shit here, technology-wise.
One day we'll be in a studio, in a building, in a fort.
Look, when the LPDS and Libretti Brothers Enterprises grows, we'll be official.
Surrounded by figs.
That's right. So you just keep bearing with us, guys. We're going to make it.
We are.
But anyway, what we were talking about before was just the Williams attitude on things and like working and coming together. You guys coming together in spite of their just trying to make you fail attitude that they had. It was just like anything that they can do to try to get rid of you guys or whatever it was. I don't know why.
It was just like cultivating the weak. That's what it was.
And every practice was put you in the most difficult situations that you probably would never even face in a game. But if it came up in a game, you didn't even... I mean, when you think about it now, like as an adult in real life situations, it worked because whatever you faced, it didn't bother you at all.
I guess maybe that was their intention. If I'm going to give
I would imagine
the doubt here.
Stop touching the fucking
Just
mic,
leave it.
dude.
It's fine.
I'm a mental.
He's a mental. We all know this.
Focus on something else.
We said at the same time, brother.
Meet my eye line right here.
Brothers.
Yeah. So,
Brothers.
Cheers. Yeah, so they did it. I think maybe that was their intention to, like, if you can deal with us, you can handle a baseball game. But at the same time, I feel like for me, baseball was my escape. Even the hardest, shittiest stuff I had to do in high school, because our coach was tough in high school, which is why we won so many games. And even in college, it was like, at least I don't have to be anywhere else. I could be on the field, practicing, doing whatever. But it had to be tough for you guys. With that.
For me especially, it was the transition. I understood at that point why so many college athletes quit their sport, because it ceases to become a game and becomes work, and that's no longer fun. You play baseball, you play football, you play basketball because it brings you joy. Right. And
when you're dreading going to practice,
that's
not even a game, practice.
Practice.
Like,
man, we talking about
practice. Like it becomes something just wholly different than what you experienced as a kid. Like we'd come a long way from fucking T-ball and eating Doritos and curly fries after
David
a fucking
sunflower
game.
seeds.
We'd come to a point where we'd show up to practice and I'd be scared of how much we would run if I fucked up.
Yeah. I couldn't eat lunch
which is
because I was so
wild.
afraid.
Yeah.
That's such
wild.
a crazy way to live. And it's like, it's baseball.
Yeah.
That should be so fucking fun to do.
Well, because you fail, 70% of the time in baseball?
Right. And then that's the thing, is like you have a fear of failing one time. That's not the majority. Like Hall of Famers fail the majority of the time and it's still the best in the game. You fail once and you guys are done.
You're done. You're fucking
done.
It
just, you can't, like, imagine living like that in every aspect of your life.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
Like,
it's awful.
Tough. Let
But
alone,
that was
like your escape, like the game you escape reality from too.
Is bringing you back into a more hellish reality.
Which is like, I can easily see why between living with Bud and playing with the Williams, like you just spiraled.
And that makes sense
not
too.
Spiral, but really, I guess grew.
But when you're dealing with so much shit
Yeah.
during the week, and then you have a day off you want to just cut loose and just let it all out.
Yeah. All of it out.
Yeah.
All of it out.
Oh, and you let it out.
Oh, yeah, I did. I did.
You learned
I did.
More than you were taught.
You guys taught me to let it out, too, because I was still, like, I started drinking, and partying and stuff up until that point. It was still nerd every riddle shit.
Well, hop back into the DeLorean, and then we get to 2008. They leave.
Yes.
All these new people make the team, and we talked about it before, how I, put you guys through the ringer.
We talked about that, and I loved it because it was like, I'm sort of on the team because we had a semester-long tryout.
Yeah.
But him and I were still living together. Yeah. Is that proper grammar? Who cares?
Who cares?
And nobody cares in this show.
You started coming around for the Giants games, and I think that's when the three of us started really getting close.
Yeah. We would do brotherhood breakfasts.
Yeah.
Eventually, we got to that point where we would have like one of the mornings, Saturday
or Sunday. You would come over to Island Club, and we would make pancakes and fucking hash browns, bacon, sausage, fucking eggs. All that
chocolate
shit.
Chips and the pancakes.
Chocolate chip pancakes.
Reese's Kisses or whatever.
Yep, we would do that every fucking week.
That 2008 squad was just something different.
It was a lot of fun.
If you ever had Skip on.
It was a lot of fun.
I'd love to hear it from their point of view, like actually saying it.
The coaches?
As opposed to like when they text us about it.
Yeah, but I can imagine, imagine their coaches, it's their first year coming down to this program, and they're just like, What do we collect here? Like, what kind of conglomeration?
I feel like one of their first thoughts were, well, we got to get a fucking catcher in here because Banji can't do it.
Oh, man.
How many positions did you play in college?
Almost all of them.
All of them. Literally all of them.
Yeah.
I came in as a catcher, and
did you even have a catcher's mitt?
Honestly, who could tell? Because I feel like I boxed everything. I was fighting more balls than I was catching, 100%. But
right there with you.
Yeah. And then I moved to the outfield and then first base when Guido got hurt and Chris Page couldn't make grades.
Yeah, that's right. And you ended up being our first baseman.
A lot of people got their shots on the team from other people not making grades, DUIs, getting arrested.
Unfortunately for me, every position I tried to play, the guys were either like so good that they were like they could get 6 DUIs, they weren't getting out of the game.
Yeah, your first year, Mr. Colin Gray.
CG was on another level of athletic. Like
he didn't even need to show up.
He didn't.
He didn't know.
I don't think he lifted legs one time in his 4 years.
Said? Do you remember? I'll never forget. Well, my first day coming to the team for fall tryouts practice, he shows up and he's stacked. He spent the whole summer doing 2 days of whatever he was doing.
Bench press and biceps.
Right.
That's it.
And he was ripped.
I mean, what else do you need to do?
And then as we get through the semester and like the practices and stuff, we're working. You know how we worked out every day after practice or whatever.
Yeah.
And someone always asked him was like, "Hey, CG, you like disappear on leg day?" He's like, "Yeah. Like, what are you doing leg day for?" And they're like, "Why don't you do leg?" He goes, I'm walking on my legs every day. They're working out. Like, I'm good.
He always had a bad knee or a bad back.
But he wasn't like stick-legged.
No.
He had good calves.
Yeah.
But
and he hit like 600.
Exactly. That's exactly whatever.
All that matters, really.
Doesn't matter what he would do for leg day. He'd show up and just drop dick.
Yeah.
He wasn't around that whole fall, pretty much.
No, he didn't need to be.
2008.
I think he was off chasing tail somewhere.
Doing whatever he was doing at work because that season.
God, I hope Lauren doesn't listen to this episode.
There's no shot she's listening.
No, he's not listening either. I wish he would. He'd be another fan and a friend to listen, but I mean, he did work on the field.
Oh my
God! It was.
He had one of the sweetest swings I've ever seen.
There was very few times in my life where I'm like, you look like live at a player that's on your team. And you're just like, you're on another level that I will never get at.
He was a typical like show and go.
Yeah,
100%. He didn't really need to participate in practice.
Yeah,
nope.
He just show up and hit a bomb off the center field batter's eye, 450 feet away, whatever it was. Yeah, so there was no chance I was playing. But
you had a nice comfy seat on the on the pine.
But you had a nice little ability that if like it didn't work out in one position, like first, I mean, you could hit pretty well, so it didn't matter.
You were athletic enough that you could go.
Yeah. They were gonna find they were like they could put you in.
So one thing that I've always been taught is like if you can hit, they'll find a spot for you on the field.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was more of the line of like, if I can get on base a lot, maybe they'll like.
If I can get drilled in the back with a ball.
No joke, in high school, that was like something our
Dorn.
coach would teach us. Like, if the game was on the line, depending on the situation, he would
squeeze the
like,
dish.
Yeah, exactly. But he would, during our practices in high school, he would have us during practice be like, okay, guy on second or third or whatever it was, like, we're down 1. What are you doing? In practice, and I was like, you want me to get hit? He's like, yes. I was like, can we simulate it? He's like, get hit.
I mean, to jump back to the Williams, if you
100%.
were in the box and, you know, we were taught as pitchers, you throw in. And if you hit a guy, that's okay. Like, I think my junior year I hit 10 guys. Like,
just plug it in.
Just work the inside of the plate.
Yeah.
But if as a hitter,
we would get trained to take pitches to get hit by. In BP, Coach Williams had a smattering of like T-balls,
mixed
like
in.
the little softballs, and he reached down
slightly softer, but they look the same. So
but they look the same. You never knew. And if he would reach down and grab one, and if he threw it at you and you moved out of the way, he would spend the next 20 seconds finding another one and then just fucking rear back and fucking beam you. Because they wanted us to make sure that we were trained not to move out of the way of anything.
Yeah.
Like you were getting on base, whatever it took.
That's
whatever
it took. Like, I wish I was good enough to play for them because I was there. I was like between my parents.
You were present.
Yeah, between my parents and my coach training me just get hit. Like, you could walk it off. Yeah. I was ready for that level of
goes
play.
away.
Yeah. I never needed it though because I sat on the bench.
What the hell else? 2008, man. I mean, that squad was just
that changed my life. And I said we talked about it when we talked one-on-one on our episode. Making the baseball team changed my life because I changed majors that year too. I got my grades up. Like, I was literally on the brink of dropping out of college.
Yeah, I mean, college is important, but that baseball team, that was
important.
That took over everything. Yeah. That's all that mattered to me.
Yeah.
You know?
For so many more reasons than just playing ball.
Right.
Yeah, I just remember having such a good time with that squad of dudes. Just from the actual season to postseason, just hanging out and just going to the beach every day. I remember I got pretty close with Phil that year because we would go to the beach all the time. Yeah. And just have a blast.
The postseason was the best because school was done. All you had
to do was just
baseball.
We had workout and we had baseball.
And we got a stipend.
And we had a stipend.
Go out to nice dinners.
Yeah, that was the dream that we all thought about as kids. Like, technically speaking, it was like we were getting paid to play baseball only.
Yeah. And you eat good meals, not fucking whistle junk.
Thanks. I used to drive by that place before I made the team. It was just like I'll eat anything, but this place looks.
You think you'll eat anything until you stop at one of those places.
Yeah, it was brutal. It looked terrible. And then when you told me that you guys would go there for meals as a team, I was like, "That's tough."
Skip took us to some pretty awful places.
Western Sizzling. I always give him shit for that.
Hell yeah.
We talked about that. I forgot what episode. I think it was you and I maybe when we talked about going. He tricked us about.
Oh yeah,
going to Chipotle.
If we swept USCB,
that was after
series,
me. Yeah,
that was after your time. We would go to Chipotle, and he took us to Western Sizzle. That son of a bitch.
Now they're wearing fucking Nike gear and
they're D2 big timers now.
Yeah, but like a whole indoor facility out there dedicated specifically for baseball.
Yeah.
Hey, we took the beating so that the new guys can enjoy it.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Embry.
But on the other side of the coin, they're out there only practicing now. Everybody else, every other team in the entire NCAA is playing games. But
I can't believe
they're
practicing every day for nothing.
For nothing.
Literally nothing.
Just to play ball, which is fine, but it's like, that's depressing.
It is.
It's
demoralizing as well.
I was like, I would sue the school. If I was a player, I would sue the school. I would sue them for other reasons. Because
I was going to say, would your dad represent you? You would lose.
I don't know if JBL3 would represent me because he would get paid what? Like flight lessons. Like, he never takes cash. I can get my own
Einstein
flight
bagels.
lessons. Yeah, I don't need bagels or anything like that, or meal card money. So I would pick somebody else, but that's so sad.
I'm sorry, JPL3. I love you.
He doesn't listen.
Okay.
You're gonna get cease and desist in the mail.
Crazy Carol listened to 5 minutes of one episode, and it happened to be a 5 minutes rant where I was shit talking her, and she goes, "This is stupid.
That's
you ought to be ashamed of yourself talking about your mother now."
That's also the episode that you were talking about OnlyFans, and they were like,
"That's right. It was the OnlyFans
she was not
episode." And she's
that.
like, "This is disgusting. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Who do you think you are?" I was like, "Don't listen."
Two nuts on that. I love your mom. She's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to.
And I also love OnlyFans. So
Also, shout out to the Brotherhood Water Rule,
brother.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I don't abide by that.
You
don't,
don't.
but we do.
That's not your rule, but
Yeah, we talked about that. I actually reposted. Rob Gronkowski posted during the Tampa Bay Super Bowl party at a rack of water because he knows what's
smart.
Up. He's not an idiot, man. He's not. So you got to do that. Meanwhile, you're hydrating with more alcohol.
That's
right. Different type of alcohol.
That's right. I might be a borderline alcoholic. Not to take this to a dark place.
We wouldn't ever get serious. We would just make fun of you for it.
Yeah.
For not being able to control
I'm still super functional.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
More so than I would be. I'm just like that guy, a weak beta bitch boy. If I drank as much as you did, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I can have 2 drinks at most.
Yeah.
I feel like I ruined you those 5 years ago when we were in DC.
Yeah, I'll never, ever drink that way again.
We had a great weekend.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was absolutely
fun.
fun.
It was super fun.
Yeah.
Made a good meal, that breakfast in the
dude,
morning.
I woke up early every day. We did push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
We, Sarge and I cooked, Bud kind of just slept, and Griffey
survived.
was there. Griffey, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
And Bud just kind of slept and just mooched off our goodwill.
He did a couple of
It's
shower
my birthday.
Sorry. Man.
That was super fun.
That's
what it turned into. We evolved into being able to be degenerates and then figuring out a way to
get
not
back
be
to regular life.
Yeah, to get back into it.
And we've had a couple where we meet up at different locations when we came down to you that one time.
That's right. I noticed for everybody watching, there are a pair of Vans here that are blue and suede, and those Vans were acquired during Steele's wedding.
Yes.
Sarge, myself, Steele, Scotty B, Danny Z.
I wasn't invited to that wedding.
Yeah, you weren't.
Bud was not invited to the Weasel's wedding.
Yeah. Make sure you tag him in this.
Yes.
Yeah, Matt Steele was not invited to the wedding.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
So we went out that night. We went to Big Sky and we got
ripped. We got ripped several different times in that weekend. But the first night I flew down, and we get down. I'm down in Atlanta. Luckily, it happened to be the wedding was in the Atlanta area, which worked out perfectly for all of us. So I flew out from South Dakota, I believe I was living in at the time.
Correct.
Down to Atlanta. That night, I got into the airport. I didn't even get to your house.
Nope.
We just left my stuff in the car and we went out.
Yep.
We went to a bar before Big Sky. We didn't go to Big Sky then.
We went to go get something to eat real quick, and there was drinks before.
Right.
Drinks there.
Right. And at this place, we found this wallet.
We found a wallet by
I know that story.
The last name was something Wentworth, those fucking commercials. If you need
JG Wentworth.
JG Wentworth. Yeah, it was it was his first name was like a last name. It was like Wellington Wentworth.
Yeah.
Guy's got 2 first names.
Yeah. And it was a Coach wallet. Mm-hmm. So it was a Richie wallet. I opened it up. I see we see the credit card information. It was like Wellington Wentworth the third. Some
he's got money.
He's got
money.
He absolutely had money.
He had 18 different credit cards in there, and then you pop open the cash pouch, and there was $1,000 cash, brand new bills. He went right to the bank or the mint to get these credit, they were still warm. They were the newest $100 bills I've seen.
He printed the $100.
$100 bills right there, stacked, and we were just like, what do we do here?
Well, we got to return the wallet, of course.
Right, we're not keeping the wallet.
Without money.
What happened was, on the record, we saw the wallet. We brought the wallet back to the managers. It was like, we found this wallet.
Yeah.
Fast forward the next day, we go on a shopping spree.
Because the wallet had no money in it.
There was no money in the wallet.
The money was gone.
The money was gone. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to the money, but the money was no longer in the wallet.
We returned the wallet. What happened after that? Mystery.
Yeah, 100%.
We had to prepare for. Steele decided, the Weasel decided that for his rehearsal dinner theme, it was Hawaii theme. Because of course, just like I talked about last episode, that he's a fake Hawaiian. And I pseudo called him out last week, but now I'm directly calling him out. Matt Steele from Virginia was a fake Hawaiian. He's from Virginia. He's a Florida Gators fan and a fake Hawaiian local.
It's getting real heated in here.
So he, with his little fucking hooves, he has to have a Hawaiian theme because he's getting stationed in Hawaii. He was not even living there yet, but it's already a Hawaiian theme.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, I want you guys to get Hawaiian shirts and stuff for the theme party.
Of course.
Which I obviously don't have. I'm living in South Dakota. My brother is a black. We are not in Hawaiian gear.
I've never been to Hawaii in my life.
And you don't live near a Tommy Bahama store.
No.
So we're just like, we happen to have the ability now to purchase Hawaiian gear.
I don't know where it came from. It just was blessed.
We just found a way.
Yeah, we found a way. We made it work.
Find a way and
yeah.
have to die.
Yeah.
So we go and we get Hawaiian shirts. Your shirt, I still have it.
Blue.
I still have mine too, but I liked yours way better. It was a great shirt. We buy Hawaiian shirts.
To wipe my ass.
I don't know if we bought shirts for the whole party or what.
No, we only bought shirts for us. We bought shirts, we bought shorts, and we bought shoes.
Right, we bought like swim trunks, sign of shorts,
and then we
went to the Vans store.
Correct. And then we went to the wedding and we paid our good fortune forward by buying everybody in the wedding party drinks.
That's what it was, yeah.
We
spent the rest of our
J.G. Wentworth's money.
Yeah,
no, we're not. I'm not admitting to that at all.
The rest
of
the money you found.
The rest of our acquired ability to buy that gear, we paid it forward for drinks. And
full disclosure, this is not an admission of guilt.
Guilt of what? We didn't do
I am not going to jail again.
Yeah, we bought clothes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, I don't want to talk about jail.
We did that. Do you want to talk about jail?
I mean, I can.
You're the one who can.
I've seen jail on TV.
I think we know why. But
you want to know why I can talk about jail? First of all, for this man right here.
We can talk.
Yeah, let's go into that.
We can hop back.
Hold on, we're gonna take a quick commercial break.
We'll be back in a second. Get it right.
All right, we're back.
We're back, baby.
So we were talking about the first time. We were gonna start talking about the first time you had a run with the law.
Yes, in Daytona Beach.
Right.
I'm such an outlaw.
Due to Bud Maloney. Bud Maloney, if you don't know him, was a notorious Lothario. I mean, he's a very suave individual. Good-looking guy.
Sure. I take him to dinner.
Yeah, 100%. Right? And we were at this place called Mai Tais.
Mm-hmm.
That's right on the beach.
Right on the beach.
It's a frequent spot.
A frequent spot of our... A frequent haunt, if you would say.
Sure, I would.
And Bud was talking to this young lady who happened to have a boyfriend at the time who didn't take kindly to the fact that...
Do you remember who it was?
No.
It was a random.
Wasn't anybody.
Completely random.
Regular, if you will?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bud was doing pretty well.
Sure.
If from an outside objective perspective, it probably was going to happen.
They were going to dinner.
Yeah. Please close your ears to this.
This is pre-SARS. This is before me.
Yeah.
Because I was not.
Yeah.
I was still.
I was totally
in the dorms. You know, trying about getting cut, and you guys were living the life.
So anyway, Bud's talking to this chick, and then out of nowhere, this guy flies in from left field and starts swinging on him.
But I was also, I'll give it up. I was a notorious shit talker.
100%.
I still am.
Was? Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
So, but when I would go out, I knew I had the
You had support.
I had confidence because I had support of guys that were twice my size.
Yeah.
And 10 of them. I had basically 10 of you behind me. So
at any given time.
Exactly. Yeah. So, felt like I was fucking Superman. So I had no problem saying whatever I wanted to.
Whatever came to your mind.
Yeah.
And it works.
Look, in your defense, I still do that every time we hang out. I'm the worst. Yeah. Because I know I got Apollo Creed in my corner. Literally.
I mean, and I'm confident in my abilities to handle myself on my own. But when you have,
it just doubles.
Exactly. Yeah. You feel invincible.
Yeah.
I understand
so
that.
thank you.
You're welcome.
It's your fault.
So this asshole, disrespectful boyfriend comes in out of nowhere.
And starts fighting Bud. And anyway, we get kicked out. And we're walking across the bridge back to the parking garage.
It wasn't it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't.
Really
it wasn't. Nobody. It was a
tussle.
It was. Right. It was.
It was
the
enough
most.
to get you bounced.
But it was just enough to get us kicked out because this place actually was pretty respectable. They didn't really.
It was a
no
nice
fights.
They had a good operation.
Yeah. And so we're walking across the bridge, and we're all fucking jacked up on Mountain Dew,
Adrenaline's going.
Yeah, adrenaline's going. And I see a fucking trash can that is just looking at me wrong.
And it didn't stand a chance.
And it didn't stand a single fucking chance. And I just kicked it.
It was in the parking garage.
In the parking garage.
So
and
I
quote unquote
public.
Yes, and it was one of those seashell park trash cans that was pretty permanent that always stayed there. And I kicked it over. And it crashed. And as soon as it hit the ground, lights went on.
It was like they were waiting. They were
just
looking at. They were they had a sting operation. At that garbage can.
We have a 6'5" black in the area.
Let's arrest him.
Yeah.
Wait, he'll
do something.
He'll do something.
I'm telling you, that trash can hit and swung.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a comedy movie.
And as soon as the lights went on, I froze and I was like, shit. And I picked up the trash can and literally put it right. And the guy pops out the car and says, hands on the hood. And I'm like, sir, I picked it up. I'm sorry.
This is when you shifted back to freshman year, Banji.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. You were still...
freshman year Brandon.
Brandon.
To turn it back on.
And I'm literally... I'm on the hood. My hands are fucking handcuffed. And his partner comes up to me. And she goes, what'd you do? And I go, I kicked the trash can over. And she goes, oh shit, I would have just let you go. He must be having a bad day. And I was just like, what the fuck? Tell him that.
Yeah, can you...
And they definitely did not let
me go.
Did not get relayed to the
Yeah. And so that was the first time I went to jail.
And put you in a tank.
I specifically remember it happened, and I talked to your mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's get him out. No, let him stay in there overnight.
There's a similar story.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a similar story with his mom another time about that with the same outcome essentially.
Yeah. That was my first arrest in Daytona.
So bullshit, man.
It was such. I don't even know how to.
We can call a spade here.
Yeah.
We can make an assumption, a very good assessment on what the reason was without saying it out loud.
We don't play those games here at the LPDS.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I know people now who have literally peed in front of cops, who have vandalized buildings.
If that guy over there is Seabass.
And who have not gotten arrested for shit that is lesser than that, and I'm just like, yo,
because it's nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't offend
anybody.
Anyone. Yeah.
I promise you, unless I had an illegal weapon on me, if I did the same exact thing, 100%
walking away.
They would not even be they would not have approached me.
Yeah.
And that's coming from me. It would not have approached me. It would have been or they would have roll down their window and be like, "Hey,
pick that up."
Yeah. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
got it, sir.
Move it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But you were slightly,
I'm slightly more tan than you are.
Your pigmentation is a
they
little
mistake
bit.
you instead of being a tan Italian. They mistake you for something else like this.
Yeah,
For a criminal.
That was arrest number 1.
Yeah,
arrest number 2.
I was gone.
You were out.
You were gone.
I don't know.
So I wasn't to blame for this one.
No.
We were at Arena.
Yes, that's a club in Daytona.
Also, before we get into this story, I want to shout out to that Lebanese place that was next door to Arena that had the pizza
wings
that had those fire wings and those fire grape leaves.
The grape leaves. We would get grape
buddy.
leaves, and then the guy would make us like 6 wings, a batch of 6 wings each if we wanted.
Yes.
And it was his own special like hot sauce.
Mm.
I think there was like a little chipotle involved in there as well, but
These
was
things
a special
were
blend. The
delicious.
hottest thing I've ever had in my entire life.
Yes.
But it was one of those dichotomies where it was like so flavorful that you wanted to keep eating them, but also like if I eat more than like 1 bite at a time, I'm losing my shit.
Yeah.
The guy was impressive.
Yeah.
And we had a good relationship going with him where he would make us wings.
And it was like one of those shows like Man vs. Food. Do you remember that show?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love that show.
Yeah. So it was Sergeant Bonge versus Wings. And the wings won every time.
Every time.
My asshole was melting.
Oh my God.
Every single fucking
Sorry,
time.
Terrence.
Yeah. Sorry, Terrence. Yeah.
Terrence, if you haven't put your kid away
if they're still listening
hours
to this.
ago, then it's on you at this point. But these like I would get them to go because I would eat 1 a day because after 1 I would have to drink a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
But they were so tasty too.
I don't know how he would bread them, but they were breaded with the sauce just like seeped through the meat.
The guy had it dialed in.
I do not know how he did it, but to this day, dude, I could fucking crush some wings
right now. The guy
right
had it fucking dialed in.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're at Arena this one time.
Preface Arena too. That was the collection of the guys that wear Affliction.
Yes.
It was Kyle plus Monster Drinkers.
Yeah.
They fresh off the dirt bike track.
100%.
UFC dudes
punched their wife and they decided to go out for the night.
Definitely. And it was a newer club, and the theme of the club was like
Coliseum,
sparring fight,
Greek,
gladiator type of shit, which went into the whole UFC, like into the arena, quote unquote.
That was the place to go if there was any fight or any big event.
And everybody wore an Affliction shirt, and everybody had some like 6 degrees of separation to being a real fighter.
Those fox hats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fox hats.
Yeah.
That's what it was, like black and white fox hats.
Dirt bikers.
Yep.
Right. It was just, and then
they
dazzled jeans.
They also like Hurley hats that were white or Hurley hats that were black and white.
Yeah, which kind of leads into the arrest itself.
Exactly.
That piece of shit. I fucking hate
that comment that just came from me was a preface of one of our teammates' Facebook bios. Mr. Varnum.
Perrin Parnum.
We're out at Arena that night. We're having a good time. I'm talking to this young woman, Kaylee.
Is that the one that was in the Sex Drive movie?
Yes, okay. I wasn't going to say her last name, but yes.
Yeah, that's fine,
just a really petite.
Look it up.
Yeah, really petite, kind of cute girl. And at this time, I'm just
right up your alley, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was a white. Yes.
She had good tone.
Yeah. She had a great complexion.
Just what I'm looking for in my reparation.
Jesus.
So literally, I'm talking to her at the exit. Mm-hmm. We are on our way out.
I was supposed to drive that day.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, "Hey, I'll get the car. I'm gonna let me finish this drink, and then I'll get the car."
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're talking and doing your thing.
And I'm talking, and like she's feeling it, and I'm notoriously just fucking blind to when a girl is into me. But this
weird.
was but this was like so in my face. I literally couldn't have fucking batted it away if I had a fucking tennis racket. It was just there. And I get a tap on the shoulder, and I turn around, and then Mr. Parnham,
Parent Parnham,
and he goes, "Hey, I need you," and I'm just like, okay.
So at that point, I go to you. I was like, dude, like I'm getting in the car. We're getting ready to leave, and you were like, I need to make sure everything's safe.
Okay, exactly.
Everything's okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll see you out front or something like that.
Yeah.
Or it was to the point where like you even might have texted me when I was getting in the car, like, hey, go drop the other guys off first and then come back.
Because
like that.
That was a baseball thing. Regardless of how you felt about people on the team,
everybody,
you looked out for each other.
Yes,
yeah,
you are a team no matter what.
Above all, everybody else.
Right. So I was out dropping other people off home because I was mostly the designated driver. Like, cause I'm
nerd.
So I was out doing that, and then I think you texted me was like, go drop them off first or whatever, and then I'll let you know when I'm ready because he had to go defend. Not to go fight. He had to go defend, like make sure things were copacetic, if you will.
Yeah. And so I
still regret that. I still wish I was just like, no, let me go get you.
Right. But we show up to the table.
Still an arena.
Still an arena.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to the guy. Apparently, what had happened was, that just sounds like a lie.
What had happened?
What had happened was, this guy had poured a full beverage on top of one of my teammates' heads, and my initial question was, "Why'd you do that?
Why you gotta do that?
What spurred that action?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, he was talking with my girl," and I'm just like, "Well, that's just seems like an unnecessary reaction." And before I could finish that statement, Poe Parnham, wearing our 2008 World Series ring, which was probably 8 ounces in weight.
Oh, it was big.
It's a big
It was a big guy.
Yeah.
I could find you a picture for that.
Shout out Cheese Tech for ordering those.
Yeah.
Came over my shoulder and just starts pummeling the guy. Just wearing his face
so
thin.
So he's been imprinted with... So there's no doubt about who's hitting him.
No, I mean, there's a white hand coming over a black shoulder. I don't
position of colors.
I don't have Vidalgo or Vitiligo or whatever.
Vitiligo.
So
that's real.
Right.
That's real.
Yeah. So there's absolutely no question about who's beating your face in.
Yeah.
And so I turn to the side and I push Poe Parnham away and I push this guy into the booth and I'm like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
So I grab him. I literally carry him about 20 steps and I put him down. I'm like, let's get the fuck out.
Time to go, yeah.
We're walking down the street.
So you're outside? You finally get out?
We get out of arena. We're walking down the street and this cop car jumps the curb in front of us.
The SWAT team pulls up.
It's gotta be this guy.
Yeah. And he pulls in front of us, and he was like, "Hey, were you guys just at arena?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir, we were. We were there. We were there." And he goes, "Stay right here." And the guy,
here we go.
I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm fucked." And this guy comes down the street, bleeding from his forehead. He's like, "Yeah, those are the two guys. They beat me, and the black guy hit me in the head with a bottle." And I'm just like, "Hey, man."
You're like, what?
What? I was like, "Hey, dude, I saved you."
Yeah.
And Poe Parnham is corroborating my story. He's like, "Yeah, man, he saved you. I was beating your ass."
He admitted to it.
He admitted to it, and he told the cop. And this is one thing. So Sarge has the blind loyalty, the McDonald's over Burger King, the Brandon over Poe Parnham's kind of thing.
Right.
All day, every day.
All day, every day. But this is one instance where I give him credit.
I don't care.
He did stand up for me in that instance. He's like, "Sir, he didn't do anything. I did everything." And the cop was just like, Nope. Both of you guys are going to
We
jail.
don't care.
He's like, hold out your hands, and he looked at the hands, and he's just like, it's you.
And so we both went to jail that day, and
so that is when you finally called me, and I was like, okay, he's ready to get picked up.
yeah.
It was like 2 in the morning ish.
It was after that.
It was late, yeah.
I remember because he put us in the back of a paddy wagon,
you had to go,
and we drove around the rest of Daytona, like picking up other drunks.
like probably
And
Turbo.
a
world-renowned Daytona Beach drunk.
Legend.
Legendary.
Legend. Turbo. Can we get a quick Turbo description, please?
So Turbo was a guy, he could have been anywhere between 30 and 50 years old.
Yeah.
He would wear...
He was like this tall.
Right, he would wear black dress shoes, whatever outfit he was wearing. And
Cargo
he would
pants.
Show up at, and he would show up at bars, clubs, anywhere you were, he was there, and he was just there to dance.
I don't think he had
Shred.
one drink.
No, he would go, he would leave.
He was on ecstasy.
Yeah,
he would leave. I remember distinctly. He would leave when we were at Red Tails, which is another bar that you can dance at. He would leave Red Tails. Down the block was a 7-Eleven. He would go there to get a Slurpee and hydrate, and come back to do more solo dancing.
Yeah.
Anyway, he definitely was probably on the patio.
Yeah,
100%.
just ripping a hole in the floor. But also, too, I remember this. He would, whenever you were leaving a club and Turbo was leaving, Turbo would leave with you, say goodbye to everyone, and just fucking take off.
Run! Just run!
Sprint.
He would try to ride to another club or bar, and he was on foot.
Forrest fucking Gump, just gone.
It was unbelievable.
And he would just disappear into the dark of the night.
He's the fastest kid alive.
Right. And then you would see him at club, like, what was it, 509?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's just dancing.
Right back at
you
it.
there. You're in a car, and he beat you there.
He just ran everywhere.
Absolute animal. Anyway, he's in the paddy wagon. You finally get to the time
Volusia
to
County.
make a call.
Yeah, Volusia County Jail, and we make a call. And
you
my first call was to you.
And I get the call. It's like it's late. And I'm already home. I was like, man, he must have got a ride, or he went home with that other,
that chick,
lady,
Kaylee,
whatever.
She was not a lady,
No,
right?
she
was a
wasn't,
lady. She was just a plain lady.
Yeah, and it
very respectable. Nice
so
tits.
He gets the call, and I was like, brother, and he just goes, I'm in prison. I was like, damn it. So I was like, all right, tell me where. What's the situation? What's the bail or whatever? I was like, all right, we'll try to figure this out. I obviously couldn't call him back. I just had to.
Yeah, it was a collect call.
I talked to other people who were awake. Dangerous Davis we're roommates at the time, so we're talking. I think we talked to Wet Cat a little bit. We're talking to Creature or Daddy, all guests on the show, by the way, all brothers, if you will.
Brothers.
And we're trying to figure out how we can scrounge up bail money because brothers. So we're in college. We're completely poor, $0, living off of ramen and Eagle Card lunches.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out.
And fucking Subway coupons.
Which we.
I talked about that.
We did. Oh, you did? You told her? Yeah, you talked about
coupons.
this. How we lived off of Subway because of those coupons. So, having a drink here for the podcasters.
Yeah.
We were figuring out how we can scrounge up our money to get bail money for him. Find enough money to get
One more.
Yeah, I'll have more too after this, but
okay.
He'll do one.
That.
Yeah,
he'll do one. Give me some more water too.
As soon as
it's so good. Once it hits your lips.
Give me one more water too, please.
You gotta have the water. That's the rule.
Okay.
As soon as we found the plan to scrounge up enough bail money, I get a call at about 5 a.m. from Mrs. Roper Hubbard herself.
Yeah.
That's not her
PRH.
Yeah, that's obviously not her last
It's
name.
Miss Roper.
Yeah.
PR.
It's
but
Miss
Mom,
Roper.
It's Miss Roper.
Yeah.
But Mom called my cell phone directly. So we already met at this point. We could talk about the story of how we met and all that stuff, but she already had my information. She calls me 5 a.m. She doesn't say, I was like, Ma, because I call her Ma. I was like, Ma, don't worry, we're figuring it out. I was about to say, don't worry, we're figuring it out. And before I can even talk, I answer the phone and she just goes, don't you dare bail him out. You let him sit there and think about what he did for the entire weekend until they let him out themselves. And I was like, Ma, you don't understand. He didn't do anything. And she's like, I don't want to hear about it. Click. And that was that. And I couldn't contact him to let him know. So he just had to sit there and rot. I don't know if you called her after.
I did not. I
didn't
sat
call
there.
her. I would never rat.
I sat there in prison, and the only reason I got out is because of Sarge and my Aunt Kay.
Aunt Kay, yeah.
Who lived in New Smyrna Beach at the time. She helped them post my bail. But I sat there all weekend, and I remember Varnum. I remember Varnum getting out of jail before us because his family bailed him out, and I'm sitting there literally shitting my brains out, just with nervousness and just
you might get. So, I
might get raped.
Yeah, you could get the chair.
And I'm I'm doing pull-ups. All weekend, pull-ups and push-ups because I'm like
to make yourself look
to look more intimidating.
Getting prison tattoos.
Yes, yeah. I'm planning my escape like Prison Break, and I'm just
great pull.
And I'm literally doing pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups for fucking 24 straight hours to make myself look less
rapeable.
Like I'm less rapeable. 100%. That's it.
I remember that's what you told me.
And I had a really nice dinner and lunch in that I had baked beans, some fucking Vienna sausages, and white bread.
Of course.
Yeah.
To remind you.
Yeah. And then I got out the next day, and you guys picked me up.
Not me. I was not there.
You picked me up. You and David picked me up.
I definitely heard about it.
And yeah, man, it was one of those times where
And me being like the prude I was as far as like with the law, because I'm always like a goody two shoes, altar boy kind of queer.
Yeah.
Not there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, queer bait.
Yeah, and it was like a movie scene where it was like, oh my god, he's coming out of prison. He's gonna be different because I was stupid.
You were just hardened.
I was.
It was just a wild situation. And he did nothing wrong. He tried to do good. That was what was crazy. It was like, how do you get in trouble for trying to do good?
And listeners, I will say this. Like I would be 100% honest with you if I had done something wrong.
Yeah.
Because I've done plenty wrong in my life. And
plenty
wrong. And I would be 100% forthcoming. But in this particular instance,
not the case.
Not
but
you
got it wiped off though, right? Ultimately.
Well, that was the thing.
That was the thing.
What's her name?
Kaylee.
You had the witnesses.
Kaylee came and she testified for me, and
they tried to make him wear the glove. And it didn't fit.
And they were like, "Oh, you must have quit." Yeah. And she testified for the lawyers in front of me, saying that I did not do anything, because thank God she followed me back inside to watch the altercation.
Happened, right.
Because she had her eyes so much on the prize.
Yeah.
Thankfully for
that
you.
That thick Snickers bar.
It was.
Snickers.
Snickers.
If she came across.
Not the other word. Not the bad word that gets you canceled.
The king size.
Yeah. She was so honed in that she followed you to the scene of the alleged
altercation.
Crime.
Correct.
Altercation.
Correct.
Yeah. And she ended up being a witness of. There were some other folks I think that also saw it too. Maybe.
Correct. But the thing is, we ended up spending like $7,200 to get my record expunged because it wasn't
right.
Because I did nothing.
Right.
But we still had to battle through that whole thing, and $7,200 was a lot for my parents at that time because they were both going through a bunch of like health issues,
all their medical stuff, plus tuition for school and all
for school. Crap. So it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And and one of those, the thing that pissed me off the most is that this guy had a rap sheet. The guy that accused me of doing that had a rap sheet that was as long as a fucking
Snickers bar.
He had a very long rap sheet.
He had a good king-size rap sheet, if you will.
He was known in the community as not a very good individual.
Yeah.
And they
chose Daytona person.
If they did any sort of legitimate investigation right there on the spot,
on the scene,
all they had to do is look up the name on their system,
and it would have been clear cut that what happened, what he said happened didn't happen.
Like the other one, like the trash can cop.
Like the trash can cop.
Yeah.
And so so it was excuse me. I just needed a sip.
You got hydrate.
I just needed a taste.
Yeah, fresh taste of the coffee that we're crushing.
Yeah. Just great coffee.
Whole bottle of coffee.
But I mean, you and I have seen. Well, I've seen that sort of like treatment, if you will, in other instances.
But that was the most egregious thing that I've ever come across.
By far. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the trash can thing was pretty bad too because of what you did. You kicked the you could have accidentally fell over the trash can.
Yeah, but I definitely kicked the shit out.
You definitely kicked it.
You won that
shit out of that trash can.
But the other thing was just like it was so obviously not the situation.
I remember talking to the guy and I was like, "Sir, like if we just literally walk 100 yards that way, we can interview
everyone,
5 to 10 people, that will corroborate my story." And he was like, "No." I was like, "Well, okay."
Well, my legs are
this is Daytona police work.
So then we all tried to get out of Daytona.
Yeah. Let's flash forward because we've definitely lived some very interesting times since then.
For sure.
And I don't want to get too hung up on that because that was a time in my life, but I learned a lot from it.
Right. You came out okay. Eventually.
Yes.
You're positively functioning in society.
I am, and I've had 2 great friends here who have helped me like progress and grow. And let's focus on the good right now.
Let's take a quick commercial break now.
Cheers.
Well, cheers, and then we'll take a quick commercial break because somebody's got a small bladder.
We all
as well.
Yep.
Wait.
All right, we're back.
Oh, God damn it. I was going to get another drink before we started, but it's okay.
All right, we're not back. But once our brother in arms gets his drink ready,
I actually just need
we'll talk about like evolving out of
post Daytona,
like kind of growing out of, or I guess for me for a while,
growing up.
Yeah, I was devolving because I spiraled when I was stationed in Pensacola after I graduated. I hit the dark side real quick and real deep, so to speak.
Yeah. We have some stories about your time in Pensacola.
Yeah, because you would come to visit,
and you would come if I didn't come to visit, you would come back to Daytona every weekend.
Every weekend was Daytona because you were still there.
And then the first alumni game, the first ever Stiegel alumni game. Shout out to the Stiegels.
Shout out
for
Stiegels
making that happen.
Honestly,
I came to you.
You
Skip
flew down because you were already up in Maryland at the time.
Hey, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. You're sounding real stupid right now.
What? Is this the Banji Diary podcast show?
He's taking over. He's taking over.
Skip, I just wanted to say I love you. Cheesesteak, I love you. Coach Thurno, I love you as well. And Chi does. What does Chi have to do besides mow the field?
Nothing. He delegates out to somebody else to do it.
I love you all.
Wife of the year out there, constantly doing her.
Meesteg, shout out to you, Meesteg, holding it down. Also, Laura, you are very.
Not a shout out.
You are very scary.
Much better than Skip.
Yeah, so much better than Skip. Thank you for letting me and Sarge watch The House and the Dogs that weekend. Your fucking what was that white dog's name?
I forgot.
Oh my god.
I think the German Shepherd was it Danielle maybe?
Yeah, something like that. I just remember going to sleep in Skip's like side room and waking up. And waking up
in his bed.
I was not naked in your bed. I was not. I had my boxers on. I just remember rolling over and waking up at like 2 a.m. and that fucking white dog staring me in the face was literally six inches away from my face, just watching me. Like, you better get the fuck out of my house, you fucking
threat. You criminal. You probable criminal.
Anyway.
That dog knew what's up.
Also, I just want to say I love you guys. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
So we left Daytona.
So, yeah.
We all left Daytona for the most part.
Yeah.
You were in Pensacola.
Right.
You went back home, right?
No,
you were still in Daytona.
I was
as a grad assistant.
Yeah,
okay.
correct.
Right.
Yeah. So we're talking post baseball years now.
Yeah, after college, after like bachelor's.
Yeah. So I was still in Daytona. I was living with Robbie and Huber at the time, Mike Huber.
At that house, right?
Huber.
That's right. That was for the first alumni game.
Huber's parents bought a house, which, in retrospect, was one of the sweetest things that they could have done.
Oh, yeah.
We had 3 bedrooms. We had 3 baths. We had a pool,
underground pool,
a tiki bar, and just a sunroom, a lush outside. It couldn't have been any more just...
Cush.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And we threw some of the fucking sickest parties there.
So that's when they had the first alumni game.
Yeah.
And I came to you in Pensacola.
You flew to Pensacola, and we road tripped down with somebody else to Daytona. And during the trip...
That was the Captain Morgan tattoo.
That was the tattoo. Captain Morgan tattoo hydration trip. Nobody did anything illegal.
Right. Okay.
And we made it to Daytona.
We got there in one piece somehow.
Yeah. And we had, and then we stayed
at that house.
Yeah. Every time I went back to Daytona, my first year in the military, it was either I stayed at that house when you guys got it, or I stayed at David's dungeon, where you also lived for a while too, before or after.
After that house, I lived at the dungeon.
Yeah, so I just followed Banji around.
So that first alumni game was 2010, maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah, I think they did 2 years.
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember about that weekend was we all stayed at your house. And we all slept on the floor. There was like 20 people on the floor. Yeah. And I woke up, and I think it was my cell phone or my charger was in the pool, on the bottom of the pool. I was like, oh, okay. Cool, thanks.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can remember from that weekend.
That weekend was a wild one.
I have no recollection of it, to be honest.
I went down there, so I said it before, I had like this weird thing where I had to go back there because mentally and emotionally I wasn't over baseball yet. You
and I had struck up a very close friendship by this point.
Oh yeah. So
you and I were talking regularly, or hanging out, on a honestly, before you left for Pensacola, you and I were hanging out on a semi-daily basis.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, every day or every other day, you and I were hanging out. And so you coming back just only felt natural. Mm-hmm. And like I said, that first alumni game, I don't remember very much.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't.
One thing that I do remember after graduating, what we would do, Tommy Colley and I got kind of close over that time span as well.
He was another ex-player.
We would go to the liquor store, that CVS on the corner of fucking I-4 and whatever that fuck, Clyde Morris.
Yeah.
We would go there and we would get 2 handles of liquor, and we would just randomly like fucking point it out. Those.
You.
And we're like, okay, we'll drink this one Friday and we'll drink this one Saturday. And we would try to finish an entire handle between the 2 of us. And if you came, between the 3 of us each day weekend. And it was a few months of the funnest.
A lot of wild times.
Yes, but most just debauchery filled weekends of our existence.
Yeah. Even if we weren't like physically out doing something crazy, we were having the best times. Just like drinking in the dungeon or the house, or just like, even if we went out for a little bit, we would hit Taco Bell after and get like
fucking chicken burritos, volcano nachos. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Man, it was just... And that was something I specifically remember. Like, I needed that personally because that's how I, like, weaned myself off of being done with the best time of my life was playing ball with you guys. So I needed that mentally to get down there to kind of forget about the fact that it was gone. Yeah. And I did it by hanging out with you guys, playing video games, and drinking. Yeah. And being stupid. Yeah. Being super dumb.
What were more times that we link back up?
I loved all of our alumni games. I wish you would have come to more.
I need to go to more, yeah.
One thing that
needs to be better coordinated. This is for G. I haven't emailed them yet, but I'm going to take over.
They should let you do it.
Just give me...
Honestly, they should.
Give me the reins. I'll take over coordinating the alumni because I can get us... I'll try to book us, like, everybody, like, a block of rooms.
Yeah.
And coordinate things so
that way people, everybody's together.
And 100%. People also know about the alumni event. Mm-hmm. Cheesesteak posted on Facebook. I'm going to shit-talk you a little bit, Cheesesteak. You talking about...
Who uses Facebook?
On Facebook 2 weeks before the event is not the way to go about getting people to an alumni event.
We're not 40. We don't use Facebook.
So we'll figure it out, but those are fun when your best friends get down there to talk about the good old days. Mm-hmm. Like it's just like this. Like,
there's nothing better.
There's nothing better.
Nothing better.
No way.
Reminiscing with you guys about how wild and fucking drunk and crazy we got, and stupid. There's literally nothing better. I could sit here and just
we could do this episode all day.
No, it would be endless.
Yeah. It would.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember one time you came. I'm trying to remember where you lived at the time. I don't know if you were still in Daytona or if you were back home in Atlanta. You came to me to Pensacola.
I was in Daytona. Okay. I was still in Daytona.
Is that when we went to Texas? Or were you talking about when we went to New Orleans for Halloween?
Both of those times I was still in Daytona.
Right?
Yeah.
So we went, and I think...
Bobby Malesra went with us to New Orleans.
So the Texas trip is when we got pulled over and got blacked, essentially.
Yeah, 100%.
So real quick on that one, we were driving to Texas to go meet up with another friend and an ex-baseball player.
Bear Bruce!
In Texas to go to...
The meat cake.
The beefcake himself to go to a lake in Lake Travis in Austin, Texas, which is a crazy lake, like super popular, wild parties there.
Yeah.
We get pulled over.
Devil's Cove.
That's right. It was super fun weekend we had there. We're driving from Pensacola to Texas to do that. We get pulled over. I'm driving the Durango, not the Durango, the Dodge Dakota.
The White Whale.
The White Whale.
The White Whale.
And...
Great white whale.
We literally get pulled over in like Confederacy, Mississippi.
Yeah.
In front, I'm parked right next to the speed limit sign that said like 70.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sweating bullets.
And and the guy's like, you know how fast you were going? I was like 72 probably. He's like 73. I was like, yeah, that's probably about right. He goes, you know what the speed limit is? And I just go like this. I look at the speed limit sign to my right. I was like, I think it's 70, sir. And he goes, it's 60. And I was like, it's 70. I go, sir. I said, no disrespect whatsoever, but
it's right there.
Right there.
It says 70.
It says 70. Yeah. He goes, well, when I clocked you, it was 60. So you're going 13 miles over, and you're getting a ticket, and all this other shit. And I was just like, I had jersey plates, so I was a Yankee.
Right. Yeah.
I have
a black in the car.
another X factor in the vehicle, and I was like, all right, fine. That ended. He gave me the ticket for like $300. There was no like address to send the money to or any information. It was just like practically a piece of paper that said, "Give me $300." So my lawyer, JPL3, calls their their district or whatever, and was like, "Hey, got this ticket. How do we pay it?" And the head judge of the county also happened to be the mayor of the county and like chief of police. And
he was like, my cousin Vinny style.
And back
100% that. And he just goes, hey, if you just send me a check out to cash for $60, we'll call this whole thing good. And he's like, all right. And he sent it out, gone. Off my record, completely gone. I was like, what kind of backwoods Confederacy bullshit is this?
Jesus.
So that was to Texas, but then we had a trip to New Orleans for Halloween.
Yeah.
It wasn't Mardi Gras. Actually, I had a more wild time almost then.
We did have a good... We went for Mardi Gras.
We did. That was the...
I don't remember what year it was, but it was... I remember the woman.
You always remember the woman.
I'm trying to remember what you're talking about.
It was Michaela, actually. I don't remember the year. I just remember the woman.
There was a blur. I was there for 2 years. It was a blur. It was all one.
She was a half black, half white mulatto.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, she had a slight gap in her tooth, but she was a very, 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 very sweetheart. Very sweet girl. Very sweet girl.
She was good.
Yeah.
Take her right to death.
I would feed her as well.
Yes.
Bird feed. Jesus Christ.
Continue with the story.
That's all we can say here.
Yeah, that's all we can do. Terrence, put the kids to bed.
Yeah. Family show, see?
So he was borking her.
Bork was like...
Yeah, I mean, we had a great time. I remember walking up and down Bourbon Street and just having the most immaculate... You did.
Yeah.
You did. No, this...
That was Halloween weekend.
That was Halloween.
It was a blur. Again, I don't remember which weekend.
I remember you telling me a very robust story about Lafitte's Bistro.
Oh, wait a second. I mean, we can get into that if you want. I'll try to tiptoe around it professionally, of course.
Of course. Yeah, we don't need to get into that. Just suffice it to say that Sarge had a really nice time at Lafitte's Bistro. And
the best bistros I've been to.
Yeah, I mean, the smorgasbord was plentiful.
Oh, buddy. And I paid the price for it.
He's still paying it off.
So listen.
Worth every penny.
I'm not going to get too far into it because I have a reputation to protect as a military member. But we went to a special interest establishment, if you will. And by the time we got to this establishment, we were already pretty deep in the alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How many alcohols have you had?
I honestly don't remember if you were there or not.
I was not there.
No, I remember my old roommate and other brother,
Bobby Malesra.
Well, he was there too.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Cheech Frank, my old roommate Frank.
Frank.
Yeah,
I remember Frank.
Chicho was out there.
The Russian.
He was Italian.
Oh.
But we had Russian vodka.
Close.
You were close.
Yeah.
And he bought
He
bought this handle of like $5 military special type of vodka. It was like called Alexandrov. Like you were talking about earlier, it was just some Russian name.
Right.
That
with a bottle this big.
Right.
Yeah.
And what we were doing was we were in the hotel. We were taking straight shots of vodka and chasing it with straight shots of cran. Like 14-year-old girls. Not cranberries.
Cranberries.
Like Cal Weaver, Steve Carell did in Crazy Stupid Love. So we're blitzed before we even get to Bourbon Street. Then we hit the bars there, get even more blitzed. I end up having a weekend sort of relationship with one of the bartenders and shot girls at one of the bars there.
A weekend relationship.
And she's just feeding us free. It was like the test tubes of booze at the time. So,
was she feeding you between her boobs?
If she had them, yeah. She was a very nice person.
Very sweet.
Character-wise, personality-wise. Anyway, by the time we get to the special interest establishment, I'm gone.
Yeah. Where'd you go, Sarge?
Lafitte's Bistro. There's another name for it, but according to the receipts, it's Lafitte's Bistro.
He missed it.
Yeah, he missed it.
What?
Went totally over his head, guys.
You were gone. He said, "Where'd you go?"
Yeah.
Gone.
Mm-hmm.
Gone. I'm over my head twice over.
Yeah.
Hammered, sloshed.
Yeah.
Crushed.
I am right now. So we get to this place,
Sorry.
and I need more cash to make sure that the employees are
well tipped.
Taken care of, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the ATM. I get cash out.
Mm-hmm.
I take that cash and start giving it to the people working, doing their on-stage performances or whatever.
Yeah.
What I forgot in my drunken stupor was that when you go to an ATM, they only give you 20s out of ATMs. They don't give you singles. They give you 20s. I was handing them out like they were singles, though. Long story longer, really. I wake up the next morning.
Long story about 7 inches longer.
Yeah. I wake up the next morning to a phone call from my bank.
$800.
I wish. I get a call and they're like, "Hey, this is Joe McNutsack from Bank of America. We're just trying to verify some debit charges at an ATM at Lafitte's Bistro." I was like, "What is Bistro?" I guess that's the cover term they used.
Yeah. Right. So the parents don't know that the kids went there.
Of course, like Perfect 10.
Yeah.
So I was like,
"It'd be a bowling website."
And I go, "What are the charges?" And they're like, "It was $1,600 at Lafitte's," and I very well could have tried to push a lie of like, "I didn't do this. This is preposterous. Right. This is not me at all." But like at the time, I was like, "I need to learn. I need to wear this mistake."
Right.
Yeah. I need to learn the hard way. I was like, "That's me."
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry, charge it. I'll pay it. Click. And that actually...
That's a good thing because it snowballed into...
It's not a good thing. That snowballed into another incident because of the reputation I ended up building for myself as this... I don't know what.
Johnny Pockets.
This provocateur of SIEs.
He just loves bistros.
He loves the bistros and the special interest out of the SIEs.
So what I wanted to dovetail that story into is our recruiting trip that we took to Orlando.
So at this point, you're a graduate assistant coach at the time for the team, right?
Correct. I am a graduate assistant coach.
You're gone. You're in Canada playing ball.
Yes. I was probably at Enterprise just hating my life.
You were absolutely at Enterprise.
That could have been it.
You want to know why? Because I remember going on a few trips and calling you and be like, "Hey man, can you rent me a vehicle? give me a fucking Camaro." For a fucking Ford Elantra price.
For a smart car price.
But anyway, so
you had to go down and do some of the
recruiting. So I had to go do some recruiting because Cheesesteak, bless his heart, didn't want to do it. And
he couldn't do it. He was too busy.
He had bone spurs. Yeah. Bone spurs or something. Yeah. I don't know.
His fucking brain.
But...
Love you, G.
I love you, TG. Anyway, we had a recruiting engagement in Orlando, and it just so happened to coincide with one of our teammates' birthdays that weekend, who was still playing. Beefcake, correct. And for you non-Embry Riddle players, that is Barrett Bruce. So we go to Orlando, and it's myself, John Libretti. Excuse me.
We have fun here, bro.
We'll edit that out.
No, we won't.
We'll edit that one out.
Man, you're blasted on the mics here.
It's myself, John Libretti, Barrett Bruce, and Tom Colley. And we're going to Orlando. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
We're going to Orlando, and I'm in the recruiting car, the Mitsubishi Elantra, or whatever the fuck it was.
Whatever hookup you got. Whatever VIP hookup you got.
The Mitsubishi.
That's a brother. Oh, my God. Good thing this is my place. Good thing we're in the trenches of war here.
We got Joe Namath over here on the other
Joe Namath can't hold his liquor anymore.
I want to kiss you.
Get drunk. We'll clean the floor later. Don't worry about
just
it.
Keep going.
Anyway, we're going. God damn it, dude! I can't continue with you laughing. All right, we're going to Orlando to watch this scouting event.
You're going specifically for.
I'm going specifically to watch this scouting event. And I invited them along to just honestly just help me along with it because I had no idea what I was doing. They threw me into the fire to go to recruiting events, and I'm a new graduate assistant. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
They didn't even tell you really what to look for.
I'm judging baseball talent based on my own eyes, which are very suspect at the time. At best. And so I go to this event, and I'm watching these kids. It's a 2-day event. So I go and I watch them play, and I'm like, okay, yeah, there's some talent here, blah blah blah. I'm doing my thing, and that night, it's Barrett's birthday.
He's still living down there.
He's still living. It was his final year playing, and you had come down from Pensacola, relive the glory days.
This is post Lafitte's Bistro, by the way. So
yes.
The reputation has already
preceded you.
That Sarge is some sort of a weird high roller all of a sudden in a special interest.
No, it's because the military pays him well.
You're still paying off $1,600 for a bistro.
Right,
but we don't know that. We just think
salary before my loans kicked in.
Correct. Yes, you're in the deferment period.
That's right. The 7 months.
The 6 months period.
The window there.
Yeah. And so we're all just like living off of Sarge's coattails.
Like penny for penny.
Yeah. So we
I didn't save any money that 7 month period.
We go out that night and we go to this bar in Orlando that was really popular, and like there was a lot of hot girls there. It was a lot of fun.
I think it was called
Sharks. It was like Sharks or Sharks, something like that.
Shark Daddies.
Yeah, but it wasn't a special interest establishment.
No, it was just a regular bar.
It was
and I feel
fun.
like a lot of UCF people went there. Yeah. For people who don't know, it's University of Central Florida.
Shout out to Huey Magoo's.
That's right. In the
correct.
Same area.
Yeah. And we got just fucking ripped. And I remember, I just remember looking at Sarge and Barrett, and I'm just like, we should go to a strip club.
I know the next step. Yeah. He looked and he's like, I know the next step, and I know Sarge is on board because he seems to be addicted to it.
Yeah. So we go to the next strip club. Sarge, remind me of the name.
I think it was the Dollhouse.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was the Dollhouse.
Honestly, there were
through my nose.
Yeah, I'll check my
notes. So we go to this place, and we are just, I'm living the life. I am feeding these girls ones.
Wait. We walk in. I will never forget this because this is where I made my mistake, not thinking about my previous history at the SIEs. We walk in and we're like, hey, it's this guy's birthday.
Yep. Yeah.
How much is the VIP room?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the guy was like, it's $100, and then you pay for whatever bottle service you want after that. And I was like, I will pay for the $100 as his gift for the VIP room. Everything else, I assumed was like, that's on them. So I gave him my card.
Terrible mistake.
I was an amateur. I admit that. Like you know, you made a mistake. So I was like, here, I'll pay for the VIP room. Bingo, bango, here it is.
Yeah.
Let's go. And we didn't even hit the regular, normal, like, rabble stage.
Right. No Norman shit here.
We went VFR direct to the VIP room. And the women just came, the employees, if you will, came to us right there.
Like the salmon of Capistrano.
So it was 4 of us there, a big party of 4 idiots.
Yeah.
And
that's when I realized that I didn't have to pay for things.
That's when you thought you didn't have to pay for things.
And I was just like, yeah, we'll take that and that and that.
Like bottles, which were like $300-$400 a bottle.
Right. And we're bringing girls back.
Bringing girls back
because Kettle One at the time was all the rage. It was a time when. So their tagline of the day was like, if you're drinking Kettle One, it's like, this is the time where gentlemen were gentlemen, and Kettle One was the vodka that made you a gentleman.
Naturally.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what we were drinking because it made us feel. Yes.
VIP, high society. That's what you had.
That's what we were drinking.
100%.
And I remember this one blonde stripper who was just. She was very, very okay.
She was into it.
She was into it, but she was just not good. She wasn't good.
I liked her.
Anyway.
I like everybody, though.
Yeah.
You gotta give everybody a chance. Give peace a chance.
Anyway, so I'm talking to this chick, and I'm like, oh my god, I like you. You're great. I remember how much
I love you. I marry you. Do you want my bank account information?
Right. I can visually see. I wish people could see inside my brain right now because I can visually. Hold
on
a second.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone can hear me. All right, the video's back. I'm pretty sure you guys can still hear what we were saying before. We had some technical video issues, but I think we're back video-wise. So I can, talking about at the event, I can visually remember. I wish you guys were in my brain to see it right now. I remember it vividly. I'm sitting on the bench, sort of velvet couch that wrapped around.
Yeah.
And you, Banji, are on my direct right. And I remember you and the other employee right there doing your thing. I could hear everything and see everything, and I was like living vicariously through you because for whatever reason, I have no idea why. I'm sitting by myself in the VIP room. Nobody's talking to me.
But you're paying for everything.
But I'm paying for everything. And he and everybody else has a companion of some sort. Yeah. And I'm just like living through everybody else.
And I'm
paying for.
And I'm talking to this girl, and I'm like, "Hey, we should go home."
Get married.
And she goes, "Yeah, for $150."
That's right. She did say. I remember it fucking distinctly.
Yeah.
She said that out loud. She's like, for whatever price.
$150. Yeah. $150. Wow. She really oversold herself.
I'll give you $10.
Yeah.
And I'm like, done.
Aim high, miss high.
And I go to the ATM and I get declined. Because at this time I had zero money. I was literally living off my parents and Sarge at this time. And so
then I went to the other ATM.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I get declined, and I go back to Sarge, and I'm like, Sarge, can I have $150?
And at the time, all I thought was like, it's only $150. Right. I could pay for this
because
I didn't know about the other stuff.
But also, you're like in your young 20s. You're getting a consistent paycheck.
Serious
to you,
paycheck.
Like okay, $150.
Done. Yeah, it was an easy decision.
No, I've been there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. Did your card get declined? Oh, no, you just told me. You just told me no.
I don't remember what happened. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
She might have made up some excuse thinking that you wouldn't pay originally, but then you were like, I got it. And she's like, no, just kidding. I'm sick or whatever.
I'm sick.
The next morning, we're in the hotel. Now, you have to wake up for another game to go watch a prospect.
Yeah, so I had to wake up the next morning at like approximately 8 a.m. to go watch a full day of baseball.
Because you had a job.
Because I had a job that was paid for by the school, and I was driving a school-sponsored vehicle.
Right.
Mitsubishi. That's not Elantra. It's a Hyundai. Hyundai Elantra.
Yeah.
It's a Mitsubishi something.
How you doing?
Yeah, whatever. Anyway.
Insert stereotypical Japanese name.
A Japanese name.
We have fun here, folks.
Should we? Okay. Not to go on too much of a tangent, but do you remember that that air show that we went to watch in Pensacola?
Yes. 100%. I'll never forget it.
So we went to go watch a air show in Pensacola, and this might be just for Bud.
5 minutes later.
It was incredible.
Anyway, the next morning from Orlando trip, they had to go. I have my alarm set, but I get, once again, my alarm is a phone call.
From the Bank of America.
From Bank of America, and they were just like, hey, we just want to verify some charges. And I was like, I knew up front, like, I put in for the VIP at the SIE.
Right, yeah. For $100.
So I was like, yeah, it's probably the $100, and it's a different location, so they're just doing their due diligence.
And $2,400.
Right. So they're like, hey, we just want to verify charges for $1,800 and whatever the cover term was for Dollhouse.
Right. And I'm like, Sarge, I'll pay you back.
And I was like,
I still don't think I paid him back,
it
folks.
was loud enough.
You're working on it.
Speaker, but it was loud enough for him to hear.
Yeah.
And I was like, and they're like $1,800 for this place. And before I can answer, he goes, please just accept it. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. And they're like, okay, cool, fine, that's fine, whatever, hang up. And I hang up, and he just goes, I'm so sorry, brother. Because what happened was, everybody, mostly him, every time they ordered an entire bottle, which was $300 to $400 a bottle, they're just like, hey, put it on his tab. He's got the tab open already.
So I will say this, that not all of those orders were on me. I will say
the whole family.
Yeah, I will say that Tommy Colley put a few bottles
100%.
on Sarge's tab.
I don't forget. I know.
I will say that
when he makes his millions as a landscaper, I'm gonna come call him for my retribution. So. But I do. But the way you went about it, when you were like, "Hey, just accept the charges," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "All right, fine. Hey, Bank of America.
I'm sorry.
I got it. It's true. Just charge me." And then I hung up, and he's just like, "I'm sorry, brother." I was like, "Again? We did it again? How many times do I have to make the same mistake? We're just spending thousands of dollars on
hookers on
cocaine on people that I'm not even that don't even do anything for me."
Yeah, it was a fun time.
I learned a lot.
It was a fun time for me.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Pretty financially disabling for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
100%.
Besides the fact that I have loans burying me right now.
Hey, Biden, if you want to forgive those $50,000 bucks.
Oh yeah.
Riddle.
I'm holding my breath for that one. But I blame Embry Riddle. I don't even buy. Yeah.
Dude.
But
Embry Riddle was just a fucking money vacuum.
Oh my. Look, I can talk for hours about that.
Oh my god.
I'm going to take another commercial break because I'm out of drink.
I could eat peach for hours.
The best quote of all time.
I could eat a peach for hours.
The best quote of all time in movie
I could eat a peach for hours.
Easy, it's a microphone. It's not a dick.
Don't sex it, Banji.
But I'll be right back real quick. Got to refresh a drink, and we'll get back going. We're back.
We're going into another.
We just left the second special interest establishment situation where I spent all my hard-earned money on other people.
Before we continue, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Does this podcast make me look big?
Oh, absolutely. That's a Johnny Cal special. I think we talked about Johnny Cal several times in previous episodes, but if it this podcast makes all of us look big.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the only reason why I do it because it makes me look big.
I don't know.
But
what the hell else are we talking about?
we were just talking about sort of evolving out of Daytona, and then how I sort of specifically devolved back into financial irresponsible human being.
Waste all your money.
Yeah. And I had just concluded telling the story about how we went to that scouting trip.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So that next morning after the phone call from the bank, you had to go to a field to watch these people play ball.
And I drug you and Barrett and Tommy Colley.
The four of us, we were sitting on top of a dugout to watch these kids play.
And the only thing that they were doing was cheering for me. There were kids literally trying to make a college roster, and these four idiots, or three other idiots, were cheering. I am the other idiot in the story. Were cheering for me, scouting other kids. It was the most embarrassing point in my life. Yeah, it was.
Because everybody could see, we were cheering for a guy sitting on top of a dugout, like
watching people,
watching people like a bunch of idiots, all hungover. And that was at the time where like a hangover was not a thing. It was just like we just woke up the next day.
Yeah. And now it lasts a week.
Now it's a problem. Now you have to prepare ahead of time, which is why we have the Brotherhood booze water rule, and you have like Gatorades and Advils already set up at your nightstand beforehand.
Yeah.
At least I do and you do. I don't know about some other people.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I just fucking wear it.
Because if I don't do that, it's a real problem.
Yeah. You're a real problem.
I don't want to point any fingers, but... So then after that, I'm trying to think of...
After that, I moved.
You moved.
I moved. Bud was in
Maryland.
Canada. You went to Canada first, and then you moved back to Maryland.
And then
I think a couple of years went by before
we all got together.
All three of us got together.
Yeah, and it wasn't I'm trying to remember if it was another alumni game or if it was back at Maryland for the birthday death weekend.
Yeah, because I feel like the first time that I saw you after you left was back in D.C., Maryland area. Because when I graduated school, I went overseas.
Yeah, to
play baseball for 2 years. And I had some good times there.
That was a good time.
And you went there.
Yeah. So I played baseball in Europe for 2 years, one in Germany and one in Sweden. Right. And Sarge came to visit me when I was in Sweden.
Your Sweden year, I just like...
What a year that was.
Half my Euro visit. I went to Italy for 8 days with my brother and my father, which was a fantastic trip. Like, I wish my mom and my sister came too, but like the fact that it was just the three stupid idiot Librettis
the males.
In Italy, it was really fucking fun. Like, I could go on for hours about how fun that trip was.
Like, we need to make a movie of it.
100%. It was like it was like the Griswolds instead of bad Italians. After that, those two went home. I hopped a flight over to Sweden.
Yeah, Gothenburg.
Several days over in Gothenburg, Sweden, where you
Göteborg.
It was Sweden's professional baseball league, essentially, right?
Yes, it was the elite league, and
you actually, I think you, I mean, not to like interject myself in, but you guys had invited me to come play with you.
Yeah,
I think
I absolutely did.
And for some stupid reason, I said no. I had to work for Enterprise.
I got a good thing going here, selling cars to assholes.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like I 100% did that because if you would have come...
I remember. Yeah, big time.
Well, when you were in Germany, real quick, when you were in Germany, the team you played for and the league you were in was a legitimate... minor league caliber league for America.
Yeah, it's very high quality. So there are different leagues, different qualities, different ratings that you would equivocate them to like American baseball. Right. And Germany has a very, very good league. They're very into baseball. A lot of the people that play, they know what they're doing. They are very intelligent. They are very savvy baseball players, and they work very, very hard.
Right.
So I will give them that. It is very competitive. If I had to equate it, it was to a league here. It's like low A baseball here.
In Germany, you're talking.
Germany. So it is one of the leagues that I felt most challenged by, and one of the leagues that I had the most fun in, because I had a really great team.
It was a good team, and I remember I loved you watching, looking at the stats and checking out your guys' progress in the league to see how you were doing, to see if you were going to make it to the playoffs or the World Series or whatever. Yeah, it was fun to keep track of.
Yeah, and it was fun to be in.
Oh,
it was so fun to be in.
I can only imagine.
We had a team that was all about the business when we were on the field. But once the game ended, we were all about the business. We had some of the best times off the field. I met a girl that I dated for 3 years there that was just great, and I had some of the most.
I dated her vicariously through him practically. I loved her.
Great.
She was a great girl.
Yeah.
We had some fun times.
Yeah,
we had fun times. And Gothenburg, when you came.
Well, when you went to Sweden, you were like, "Hey, I'm transferring over. I'm playing in the Sweden Professional Baseball League."
Yeah.
So you hear professional, and we all have our own like American idea of what pro ball is.
Yeah.
And it's like at least minor league caliber.
Yeah, well, take that perception and then literally throw it in the trash.
Piss on it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, cool. I'll get to go watch good baseball and then hang out with my brother.
Yeah.
Brothers.
Brothers. Well, cheers.
It was not the case out there in Sweden.
Don't just let me hang in.
I did it like, shadow.
I mean, the baseball was different. I will say that.
Wait, I'll say from my perspective, because you were the player coach, which I didn't know was a thing until in pro ball at all, until I saw that. I get out there, and for baseball specific, they had a practice, and I go to watch, and there are more than one player on the team, showing up to practice wearing like their work clothes. Like corduroy pants on the field to take infield practice, wearing corduroys and a button-down shirt, and I was just like,
I could do this.
I told him, I was like, I would legit be a top 5 player on this team. I tried to give myself a little bit, be realism.
Yeah, not number 1.
Yeah,
top 5.
There was an easy outright number 1.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
And
then me and then Patrick Laffin.
I love Patty Laffin. He was his roommate and player. I don't know
from
if he was
Boston.
Assistant, but
he was
from Boston. I think he's. I don't know if he's still living out there or what.
No, he's back in Boston, but he has himself a Swedish fiance now.
Yeah,
actually, congratulations to Pat. Yeah.
You would be a big fan of him too. I wish he would come back to hang out with us one day.
Great dude.
They were roommates at the time. Old Patty Laffin, he would do this all the time with his hands.
Yeah.
And they were easily the top 2 players. And I was just sitting watching, and I was like, I could compete here in this entire league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was tough to watch some of these guys play.
So Sweden was one of those leagues where you play in just to have the ability to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is...
For people like you.
And so... For me and Pat, we just experimented with like Swedish culture.
Swedish everything.
Yeah.
Swedish fish.
Yes. I remember going to a Swedish house party, and they had bowls of chips, they had bowls of like Swedish fish to candy, and then they had bowls of whippets. like canister of whippets. And
it's like big deal.
Yeah, he and I probably did like 5 to 10 of them between the two of us.
Which is a lot for you guys.
Yes, because I had never done them before, but like it's a house party. I'm not going to turn down the house guests. He offered them.
He worked hard to get that bowl,
And so we were just gone. We probably killed like maybe 10 to 20,000 brain cells that fucking weekend. Just fucking retarded. I remember running down the interstate in Sweden with Patrick by my side, going to find a fucking place where we could get a pizza. Kebab Rula, which is basically just a big burrito of kebab meat.
It's like a gyro and a burrito combined. We did the same exact thing when I was there, though.
We did.
Highway hopping, essentially. Like, we got to the point, I mean, we hit several bars.
Yep.
Pat showed off his skill. He's able to, like,
chug
a pint of beer in, like, a second or less.
He's got that thing that he just opens his throat and it just goes down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we polished off several Falcon beers, which is like the Swedish...
Falcons!
The Swedish beer they have. Crush a bunch of Falcons at some pubs.
Yeah.
And then we hit an SIE, of course.
Yep.
which was rather expensive.
Everything
in Sweden was
nothing's expensive for you.
Everything in Sweden is fucking ridiculously expensive.
Right, and then we hit this one bar club situation where I specifically asked the bartender, I was like, give us the 3 cheapest drinks you have. Like, give me 3 of the cheapest drink you have. And she literally made the most expensive drink there.
Of course.
And it was several hundred
Chrome
daddies, I call them.
CDs.
Which is a lot of money. And I had it out. I was motherfucking her over the bar, and these guys had to pull me out before anybody came. The Gestapo came over.
The bankroll.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we were struggling.
We were.
Pat and I were just balling on a significant budget. He and I would do lawnscaping jobs, just digging holes to make extra money.
Cash.
We would literally travel around to other teammates' houses who had legitimate jobs in fucking Sweden, and we would dig fence holes for them. It was fucking awful.
Gigs,
It was fucking awful.
Yeah, because we were only playing ball. They had full-time jobs, and
they would play ball on the side.
Essentially,
yeah. But it was good because we would work during the day for 2 days a week to do these side jobs, and then we would go to the gym those other 3 days and go and work out and just sit in the sauna with hot ass naked women.
because they had co-ed sauna situations.
and then we would just go play games on the weekend. And Pat and I, bless his heart, I hope his fiance isn't watching this, but we would just go and hit on chicks after the game. As soon as we finished our doubleheader, we'd go home, shower, go to the bar, grab the hottest Swedish woman we could say. Hey, we're American. We don't speak good Swedish.
Tala du engelska? I'll never forget it. That's how do you speak English in Swedish?
And then we would take home the best Swedish woman that we could possibly take home. And we did this every fucking weekend.
So they gave me a quick crash course in that.
Yeah.
And when we went out, I was on a mission to talk to as many human beings as possible of the opposite sex.
Human beings.
And I went out to everybody. I was just like, how I doing this guy? Or whatever. I'm drunk now, so I'm pronouncing it incorrectly.
Right.
But
No, that was actually pretty fucking good.
And they, for whatever reason, and I don't know if they were just tricking me or whatever, but they loved as soon as I said that, they were like, oh, you're American, we love you. Yeah. And I was like, look, I'm leaving, but I got friends over here. And I distinctly remember after I left, you were telling me about 4 to 6 separate dates that you had with those individual women based solely off of me drunkenly going up to randos and being like, hey, he lives here. Yeah. Check him out. Let's do this thing.
Hey, you got to set the table for your brothers.
You did work. I was so happy for you guys.
I specifically remember cashing in on that.
A good amount of that, but
yeah.
But after you guys pulled me out of that bar after I was yelling at that lady.
So Sweden has very good street architecture, and they have very beautiful streets, and I'm very weird in this aspect of my life. I love good architecture on buildings and streets and roads. I find that very entrancing. And they have really good they have a very good art scene there. And one of the things that they do is they work art into just regular buildings. And there's a very Mayan picture that is built into this one bar that Sarge goes up to in one of my pictures.
Do you have pictures?
Yeah, I do.
I don't have them.
Yeah, and Sarge just starts,
send it to me and I'll put it on the air.
There's a face right there, and Sarge just starts making out with this face.
I forgot about that.
That is literally a brick wall.
It was a legit wall. I definitely did not hook up with anything real.
Yeah. He's making out with a brick wall, and I'm just filming it.
That's incredible. Like, you still have that.
That's 100%.
We need the archive footage.
Yes, I will.
I will. Embarrassed. You gotta send that.
I will 100%.
Wow, that's incredible.
This will be there.
We gotta put that up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
But by the time it was all said and done, we were working off of public transportation out there to get back to your apartment.
Our place.
And by the time we got done with the bars, like, they don't have 24/7 transportation like New York City or something that.
Yeah. But they did, during the summertime, Sweden is so far north that they have majority daylight hours. So we would walk into the club at 11 p.m. and it would be sunlight, and we would walk out at 5 a.m. and it would be sunlight.
Sunlight again because this is a new day.
Because they're so high up on the on the latitudes. Yeah.
But at the time, we were trying to get back to the house. At the time, we were trying to get back to the apartment.
Because it was a new day.
It was still dark, and the metro, the trains were done.
Right.
For the most part. So we were trying to figure out how to walk back. We were miles away from the apartment. Like, it wasn't like, oh, we could tough out a mile walk back. It was like legitimately like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We have to get our energy back. We have to replenish. We hit this kebab place and get kebab rulas, which are again gyros combined with like kebab meat inside. Delicious. And I
cannot wait to go back to Europe with all of you.
Oh my god, dude! Me neither.
I can't wait to show you.
We grabbed that sustenance, and we're like, I guess we could walk towards the place and see if there's any subways or trains open. And we're literally like climbing over Jersey barriers, like the cement barriers, on highways, straight up like I-270 style highways.
Zooming past us.
Crossing the street to get over to find a train, and we found this fucking ghost train that happened to be like still running at 3 a.m. to get us back to the apartment. But we were literally highway hopping in the middle of Sweden, which I had no idea what the hell I was doing, where I was at all.
Following.
And like they gave me enough confidence. We're like, we live here, so it's good. But they were like, we have no idea what's going on.
Pat and I were so drunk that specific night that we had zero clue what was going on.
Winging it.
We were just fucking winging it. And
it was a lot.
We were just hanging out and just trying to meander our way through the city. And it ended up all right.
Yeah, and nothing went wrong. Everything was fine.
Yeah, I mean, Sweden.
It could have been very bad.
Very bad. If we were in a less developed country, definitely murdered,
stabbed.
100%. Yeah, it would have been really bad. Yeah, a real sad story on the news. But
but
it
anyway,
ended up being the opposite. It ended up being one of the most fun experiences of my life. Just doing like in a strange world, essentially, just following these guys who said they knew what they were doing, but clearly we're not, because we were also drunk off of Falcon beers and whatever booze they were feeding us.
Yeah. Absolute vodka for fucking $100 a bottle.
Yeah, that is one thing about Sweden. It's
very expensive.
It's more expensive. It's not one of those where it's like the dollar holds more weight.
You know what is cheap though? Going to Washington D.C. and taking Mad Hatter drinks in 2015.
That is true. That is much more
with the Bone Crusher Maloney.
That was 20. Was it 24? 16?
It was 26.
It was 15 or 16.
Yeah.
It was probably 15.
When was your 30th birthday?
There.
5 years ago.
16. Mm-hmm. So I remember going.
Yeah, it was February before I moved there.
Correct.
That's right.
Right before you came.
Yeah. And we all went up to fucking Silver Springs at that time? You were in Frederick.
You were in
Clarksburg.
Yeah.
That's right.
We got an Uber to Silver Spring where I live now.
Yeah.
But
and then we all took an Uber down to Washington D.C. We went to Georgetown. We had a nice dinner.
So we talked about this on the episode I was on.
Yeah.
But I would love to hear from your point of view how you just killed me.
The instigator and what is the
instigator in chief?
Not the ringleader, but like the puppet master.
Yeah,
of the whole
you're just
thing.
in your ivory tower.
Oh yeah.
I remember
So
going.
the first night it was Georgetown for dinner. I don't even remember.
Yeah,
where
we went to some place where you could get like steaks that were like very reasonably priced. We're the best steaks in the world.
And then we went to, I don't know if it was the same place where we started out at a place in Georgetown area.
Yeah.
Where it was like kind of hipster, where we had those DC Brow beers that everyone loved, and that one chick that is a ghoulish looking creature was in love with you that you worked with.
Yeah, I know.
Yes!
My
God, yes!
She was out there following us the entire weekend, essentially. But she took us to this one
very gummy. Very gummy.
Yeah. That's the one. Yep.
Yeah.
And we went out there and we had a couple of like pre-game beers after dinner.
Yeah.
And we went to a whiskey bar out there too.
Yeah.
That's right. We sure did.
And I was like, oh, this is... No.
I think, was that the same night we ended up in Silver Spring at your other friend's house to have straight shots of whiskey at his place before we went out to DC downtown.
Yeah.
And we met Gary Big Hands.
That's right.
That was later in the evening. So we went to, I don't remember how many bars we went to in downtown DC, but we ended up at this place called Mad Hatter's.
That's right. So Mad Hatter's is famous for their Mad Hatter drink, which is basically just a very large Long Island.
I mean, it's probably every...
It's every conceivable alcohol plus a little like
sort of
blue
green,
curacao.
And
and I remember Bud consuming the lion's share of this.
Yeah, it took that thing
we're
down.
talking like 60 to 75%
of it. And he...
So this real quick, this is literally, it comes to you, Mad Hatter, I think it's that it comes in a giant plastic
hat.
Top hat.
Yeah.
And this top hat comes with 12 straws. 12 straws.
Between the three of us.
It's for 12
I had them all in my bag.
It is specifically made for 12 individual human beings.
I just put that there on my cup.
I watched you do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink it again now. So
meanwhile, we're talking 60% of that 12-person drink is consumed by one human being. Yeah. The Bone Crusher on his 30th birthday, and it was like neon green, like Secret of.
It was like nuclear horse piss.
Yeah, absolutely.
I took most of it down.
Yeah.
Too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you took down most of it.
Yeah, and we're just sitting there at this Mad Hatter. Oh shit.
You're good.
Mad Hatter place, and for me, like I said earlier in the program, my life revolves around sex. So I'm just looking for chicks to bang. While this guy is stumbling, fumbling, tumbling, drunk.
Just to stay alive.
Just to stay alive.
Mode,
yeah.
You're in another mode.
Yeah.
I don't think you had your shirt on in that place.
No, so I had a button down on. I remember having a button down on, and I remember unbuttoning it to like the 5th button, so where my belly button was like right at the next button. And this was when I was like in really good shapes, and I just had like abs.
You were proud of yourself.
I was really proud of myself.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and so I remember hanging out with Sarge that night because Bud was just, he was just non-existent.
Well, he was with Guns McGillicuddy.
True.
Doing his thing.
It's true. So anyway, long story short, we end up at McDonald's all alone because none of us could score chicks that night. Weird. Yeah. I feel like it was just me trying to hook Sarge up with chicks that were way out of his league. And Bud was just too drunk to talk to anyone. He couldn't form sentences at this point.
No way.
So we end up at McDonald's. And
we got Gary at that point. Gary came along.
That's right. Gary was there. By the time our food comes out, Bud is passed out on the table, and Sarge and I are eating a 20-piece nugget and fries that Bud ordered over his Dead corpse.
Body. And we showed the picture in the previous episode.
Yeah,
we can put it again.
Yeah.
I'll pop it up again to show everybody, but you were dead.
Yeah.
Like you were like your heart was beating, but you were dead.
I haven't fully recovered from that night, and that was 5 years ago.
And we're just having the best time of our lives.
Great.
Yeah.
It was such a fun night.
And then the very next morning, I woke up and I made that very robust that feast. I made fucking applewood smoked bacon. I made croissants,
eggs, avocado slices.
Avocado slice, and then I scrambled like spinach and peppers and like sliced jalapenos, and there's like beautiful spread.
So we talked about it in the last episode.
We did in your episode.
So I finally
episode 27, folks.
I finally woke up from my coma, and we went to Frederick for dinner.
Yeah,
and Saber de Cuba or whatever.
De Mexico.
De Mexico.
We don't eat Mexican food here. So we had a great dinner, and then we went to that one club restaurant. And remember, you got into it with my buddy's girlfriend. About
because we're
two places. The first place was
a comic book shop.
Well, we went to the comic book shop, and then above that is where the dude lived.
Right.
With I don't know if he lived with his girlfriend or
I don't remember.
But we went to go meet with him, and then we went out to another bar from the comic book shop to a regular bar before the club restaurant.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's when you said something like, hey, we're going to go to a strip club or whatever.
I said something that was like moderately sexist.
Mildly. No, it wasn't even sexist. It was more like, hey, we're going to go to a strip club.
Yes, because I appreciate women's forms in all their fashions. So it is. It's a work of art. And she didn't take it very well.
No.
And I don't know.
I don't know what her fucking problem was, honestly. But you said something like, we're going to hit the strip club. And she was livid. Absolutely livid.
And
it wasn't even the worst thing you've ever said in front of a woman before, ever. Anyway.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close, pal.
Anyway. It was the worst thing I've ever said, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, Mom, if you're listening, please don't hit me.
But I do remember getting into an argument with her about that, and I just
big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she hated me, and I feel like she still hates me.
Who cares?
I don't. Literally, I do not.
But took care of that for you. Don't worry.
Yeah. But I just
she's wiped off the face.
She's dead to me. I don't understand. I don't understand because like. You guys know me. Like I respect women so much that I put them on a pedestal, and that
you keep putting the pussy on the pedestal. Saying that.
And I just feel like she didn't get that, and that
she didn't understand that what you said was an obvious joke. Was like. Right. We're not going to a strip club because just based on like the timeline of events or whatever. It wasn't.
And then the demographics. Like I'm gonna take Bud's girlfriend to a fucking. She wasn't your girlfriend at the time.
She was close.
She was a lady friend.
I'm a close pal.
Yeah, it was just like
my buddy's girlfriend.
It was if anybody who spent more than 5 minutes with you knows that it was like an obvious joke.
Right. Yeah.
And because she's got some sort of insecurity or whatever it was. Yeah. She was just like. Not having it whatsoever, and she was. You could see visibly her everything about her just
flush.
Immediately.
Her whole countenance.
Yeah, she pulled her boyfriend out, and he was no longer part of the group. After that, she pulled him out, and was just like, "We have to go home now." I was like,
he was excommunicated.
He was. Yeah, she banned him from hanging out with us, and after that, that's when we moved over to the restaurant that turns into a club after like 10 p.m. Yeah, that's where we saw Spider-Man. Which was that was a wild club.
I think that's one of the last times that the three of us like went out to do something.
Crazy.
Yeah. Spider-Man was crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, I think after that we were at Alumni. We went to a strip club, a special interest establishment in Daytona for Alumni weekend for 3 of us.
Probably.
because Jill the Thrill was there.
Ooh. Did we go to Molly's?
What's that?
We go to Molly Brown's that year?
It was Molly's or Lollipops.
Lollipops.
Yeah.
It was definitely Lollipops.
It was a good time, but that was also that was not the weekend I showed you that I can throw up on command. That was a different weekend.
Might have been.
We call that pulling the trigger.
Yeah, that was one of the last big times that we can remember of all of us hanging out. And it was at this
until now.
Yeah, it was at this very shady club restaurant situation where this dude with a spider tattoo on his neck was like on top of the clothes, sexing this chick on the dance floor, like no holds barred, just dry humping her on the dance floor like a maniac. And that was the entertainment for me anyway. Yeah. Like I just had a couple of Coors Lattes and whatever, just watching this guy just dry hump this chick on the dance floor.
Can we talk about our time? Bud, you graduated. I just want to talk about our time at Shark Lounge.
Oh. No, I was after I graduated too. I was
you came back
because I was mentally irregular.
So
I had to come back to go.
It was me, you, Barrett, and one other person.
I'll be back.
Okay.
We'll pause.
Pause it.
All right, we're back.
Hey, welcome back.
So we're talking about our experience at the Shark Lounge.
Ooh, the Shark Lounge.
The Shark Lounge is another SIE.
Yeah.
Look, if you haven't realized,
there's a common thread here.
The common thread is we are connoisseurs of those establishments.
Yeah.
So the Shark Lounge specifically is a place in Daytona Beach that we never even ventured to while we were in college.
Never been there. Yeah.
Until I graduated. It was one of those weekends where I was coming back to Daytona because I couldn't get, I needed to get back to.
You couldn't get what?
I couldn't get anything. I couldn't get over losing the best times of my life.
Right, that's what you meant.
Not that. Not
Perfect save.
Yeah,
perfect save.
Not the other thing.
So I was in the middle of telling a story about going to the Shark Lounge with myself. Jesus Christ. We finished an entire bottle of tequila tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
so,
you guys can see.
Today, actually.
If you're watching YouTube, you can see the video progression of the alcohol that has disappeared from the physical, actual,
this area.
Presentation.
It's gone. It's empty. So we're moving it out. It's a lot.
So we went to Shark Lounge with myself, Sarge, Barrett, and I want to say was it Spencer at that time?
I don't remember Spencer being in it. It was either Danny Z or Tommy.
Yeah. So anyway, we walk into this place, and Shark Lounge for you non-Daytonians is the most sketchy, most seedy place that you can possibly imagine for a strip club.
I'm pretty sure it got busted and closed and reopened as something else, but it was part of what they call one of those
internet cafes.
Oh yeah, but it was a packaged place too, a liquor and package place.
Oh yeah,
you
I remember that.
A quote-unquote liquor store. Mm-hmm. And then next door to it, connected to it, was this special interest establishment.
That's South Turn. That's what it was. Yeah.
South Turn.
Like that, yeah.
Where you guys would go watch the Giants game with
Scotteriga.
Scotteriga, that's right.
Groundskeeper, and
correct.
Yeah, maintenance man at the Embry-Riddle campus. But Shark Lounge was you can either go to buy cases of liquor or beer, or go to the SIE right next part of it, connected to it.
Correct.
The issue with that place was that there was no ID check or anything. It was if you had $5, if you had a heartbeat and $5, you were getting it.
And they accepted you with open arms.
Open arms and open legs.
Yes, 100%.
Oh yeah.
I remember this one time we walked in there and we sat down at the table. And we literally watched this 275-pound woman do a stripper pole dance.
It was incredible.
That was it was
skillful for
that weight.
Relatively speaking, absolutely.
Yes. because she was battling against gravity.
Yeah,
And-
gravity and diabetes.
Yeah.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
For
And
sure.
honestly, I feel like gravity and diabetes won. Because she maybe got off the ground for a whole 10
it was
seconds
tough to watch.
through her entire 3-minute and 30-second song. She would just casually jump in the air and immediately get sucked back down.
Like in the episode of The Office where they're taking the group picture outside and they're like, one dude jump and Phyllis can't jump off the ground. It was like there was extra gravity pushing her down to prevent her from getting up on this
It was
pole.
basically her just walking around the pole for 3 minutes.
However long the song was.
But that-
by the way, the playlist of that was rocking.
Yes.
It was like 80s, like classic rock and hair metal shit. It was fucking rocking.
But the thing is, that wasn't the story.
No,
That
it was
wasn't the
not.
focal point.
That was like
The
wasn't even
focal
more-
point-
that wasn't even close to the
Not
focal
even.
point.
The focal point was a table behind us to our left, if I remember correctly.
It was, because it was closer to the quote unquote VIP.
VIP lounge.
Yeah.
Yes. There was a gentleman of questionable status and a lady of the evening standing there, and they were going in. They were making out so hard with so much passion that I envy it to this day. But the thing
confidence they had to be able to do that, the chutzpah, if you will, if you were
chutzpah.
Dangerous David.
Yes. The thing that stands out to me the most is that my man was knuckles deep in her asshole.
It was the most blatant
ass,
open.
dude.
It wasn't like, you know how like you're in the corner, you're kind of like sitting like a field job or whatever.
Right. No.
He was like
In there.
It's almost like they forgot that they were in public.
Right.
Yes.
It was out of control.
I remember sipping my Miller Lite at the time.
It was canned. They came.
Canned.
All the beers came in cans.
Naturally.
They would be like, hey, I want a Miller or I want a Coors Latte, whatever. They just came with a fucking can of beer, and they're
This
like,
is how pronounced.
outside.
This is how pronounced this memory is in my mind. I was sipping a Miller Lite ice cold.
Oh
by the
yeah,
way.
it was
ice
fresh.
cold, fresh.
Right from the next store where they own the package. Yeah.
And I was just craned. My neck was craned, looking at this. My man's right hand was so far up her asshole that he could probably. It was like a Jim Henson puppet.
Yeah, he could control her mouth and movements from where he was.
It was insane,
absolutely out of control.
And I just, and if that is not the quintessential Daytona
That's
story,
Daytona.
That is fucking
100%.
Daytona.
Like, if you look to the right, you see a 275-pound human being trying to dance on stage naked. If you look to the left, you see a probably wealthy gentleman, like a Daytona yachtsman,
club,
if you will.
yeah,
Yacht club
100%.
type.
Yeah.
Like forearm deep inside another woman's asshole.
And
it wasn't just like her chotch.
And if you leave the club,
Yeah.
then you see some beach bums walking around,
Right.
skin browned,
Yeah, they
brown
looked like
to
a
the
catcher's mitt. Yeah. That was
just
the
tan
entirety-
hide,
Right. And,
wandering around the street.
and the icing on the shit cake, which I can happily say I did not partake in, I don't think anybody in our group partook in, was the dancers would come by. You know how like in SIEs they would come by and be like, hey, you want to dance
Right.
like a lap dance in the VIP lounges,
Yeah.
however many dollars.
$20, yeah.
They were not doing that because this place was shady at best. They would come in with, their offer was 2-for-1 blowjobs.
Oh, all right, I didn't do that.
Not that. No, I know you didn't do that. No. I know you didn't do that.
Yeah.
There was a point where they would come off, like the dancers would come off stage and offer that to you, and it was just like, what kind of operation are you running here? Like, you're not even hiding the fact that if we go in the back, like, cubicles that you have with the bead coverings that's as your divider.
Then you can just get a ZJ.
It was 2 for 1. So for $30, both of us could get a blow J from some absolute creature of the night.
It's an absolute smoke show.
Oh, I couldn't believe they were so brazen about it.
I mean, I don't think there's any better way to end this episode of 2 for 1 BJs.
Yeah, it really was that's the.
Yeah, that's the creme de la creme of Daytona right there.
It really is.
Yeah, we and honestly, this is just the tip of the ice. We have so many more stories.
There's so many Daytona stories.
There are hours and hours of memories that we can talk about that are entertaining, not just us talking.
There are hours of almost threesomes. There are just times of hot tub escapades.
You own that hot tub in the Island Club.
Yeah. The Island Club should literally just put a plaque of my dick.
Yeah, the percentage of H2O to Banji seam in that hot tub in the Island Club is questionable at best.
Yeah, it's probably 50-50.
It's unsafe. Yeah, OSHA would seriously have a problem with it. But there's endless stories, and that's what I love so much about having you guys on, is that at any given time, if I have an issue with coming up with a topic to discuss solo, which is
did we even have a topic today?
No, we didn't have a topic.
There was zero topic.
It was just start from 2006
solo,
and go.
I have to think of something to talk about, and I have to write notes, make sure I stay on track, and make sure I'm entertaining for the people. Which is difficult for an idiot like me because I'm an idiot.
I feel like Skip is going to hate this episode.
Yeah, well,
Skip, I love you. I love you. Skip, I love you.
My brother's on. We don't have to even... I didn't have to prepare at all. All I had to do was set up the mics and be like, hey, show up at this time.
Yes, let's go.
And we're hitting record. And that's that. We're at... I can't even tell you, we're at over 2 hours.
It's got to be 2 hours.
Easily.
It was long.
Longest episode in the history.
And I'm not even mad about it because people can just listen to it, per
Did you have a good time?
Per diem ad hoc.
Okay.
But
our live studio audience.
Yeah.
So at any given time, I can just, if I'm struggling to find anything to talk about, I can just be call one of my brothers up and be hey, be on the episode and we can talk for an hour plus. No topic, we'll just go. We'll just talk cage.
Just tell stories.
Yeah, cage facts because that's paramount.
Gotta have it.
We have to educate the people on the great one.
Dude, he's an anomaly.
He is the best to ever do it.
Okay.
He's up there. He's up there.
Best to ever do it.
Okay.
You're not gonna sway him, so just say okay.
I'm not talking about Academy Award winning acting skills. I'm talking about the captivation that he brings.
And quantity.
Yes.
Quantity is unrivaled.
Quantity over quality, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is coming from the most biased source of all time. It's definitely quantity over quality.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But
it's okay.
So I have to give the people, I have to educate the people on that. After that, bringing you guys on, I know
this has got to be one of the best episodes.
I
ever.
had a great time.
It's one of my favorites.
Awesome.
Anytime I have a guest on, I love my brother Nicky Sticks, and they're always any guest episode is my favorite episode.
Nick, I love you.
But being able to reminisce about
Carl Lewis.
Thank you for the cigars.
There you go.
Actually, JR Cigars, New Jersey. Check them out. My man.
They're New Jersey and North Carolina and online.
He sent me some of the most tasty cigars the other week.
I got them here too. I got some a whole humidor that he hooked me up with.
We're gonna smoke those.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah.
I also got a nice V cut from his recommendation. Beautiful.
Yeah, he gave me the same recommendation.
Deep V.
Yeah. It was a deep V. Yeah.
It was
I have
a deep
it too
V
as well here.
Yeah.
It's actually in my camouflage tactical backpack there.
Okay, cool.
Waiting in the wings. But
what's up, Jess?
The guest episodes are my favorite because we can just shoot the shit and enjoy.
Yeah.
And people seem to like hearing the fucking shenanigans.
Yeah, they want to learn the history.
Yeah.
The history of
biography.
it. And when we're in the White House together, like as a presidential administration, people will love guys privately to talk about that. But I do want you as my vice president because we have the same views and different views enough that it would work perfectly.
I think that we...
Also, if I pick someone else, I feel like you would beat me up.
I absolutely would. So Sarge has talked about this in the past of people who post a lot of like political shit in political years, and I'm one of those people. But
I'll give you
in my
credit,
defense,
it's not just political years that you post. It's all the time.
Yeah.
But yes,
I do like to engage in that type of dialogue from time to time because it is important.
Listen to me.
It is very important.
Look, I get it. It's very tough for me not to post shit on social media and do that crap and engage and respond to people and text message tough guy. So I get it. I understand the human factor. I would love to be able to post and trash talk via Instagram or the Twitter or whatever. So I get it.
Yeah.
I never dog on you for that.
It's one of those things where like we, because we're coming into the age where like that kind of shit like matters.
It should matter. Yeah. It should matter.
Because we're coming into that point in our lives where we are in the position to make decisions, and those decisions affect other people. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like I'm not promoting one viewpoint or the other, but I feel like as a listener group, as a listener group, like you should inform yourself. Yeah.
You nailed it.
Fuck you.
I get what he's saying. Like, I do understand, like, to keep it as unbiased as possible, you should absolutely inform yourself on shit like that, because I talked about it on previous episodes of, like, how I feel about how people are biased and closed-minded. That's really the thing, is the closed-mindedness and the hypocrisy is what I have a problem with. But you should educate yourself more than just like the media and the social media and stuff of it for that particular subject of like politics and world views and stuff like that. You and I separately can have a completely one-on-one episode.
100%.
I would love to do one day.
I would love that.
Because politics, I'm not.
Yeah.
which
you want to talk about wrestling? All right, I got you.
And honestly,
I'll DDT you any day.
Like, I'm like legitimately jealous of, because politics and the bullshit doesn't affect your life. You can find a way to be successful and happy without that.
It's outside of everything I have going on.
In the military and other shit
you
that
live with
I do
on a daily basis.
Like it directly or with second, third order affects our lives. And it's fucking frustrating, dude.
It is.
It's a pain in the ass. It's annoying.
Yeah, it can be.
And it's like disheartening. And I am legitimately jealous that like you can have a job where you're successful and happy. You can literally. You can legit like not worry about that and still be successful and happy and fun. So I'm not dogging on you because you're not involved in it. It's just because you're fucking.
Well, I will say this. This has been one of the best birthday surprises having you guys here. Boom. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Brothers.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
I love doing
I'm done. I got nothing left, man.
Okay, well, you can have some of this.
No, you're good.
I love talking.
Yeah.
And the fact that I can talk to with my brothers like this is just that's a pinnacle for me.
Let's make some shout outs and let's get out of here.
That's what I was just
I would like to shout out to Mr. Ortman, Mr. Davids, Mr. Remy, Megan Feverston.
Megan's parents?
Megan Remy, actually.
Future Remy. Yeah.
Creamy.
The Iron Fist.
helmet.
Jessica Haley for sitting here during the whole
thing.
So
Jessica,
big time.
I didn't want to name her, but
Just name her.
The thing on
wreck everyone and leave.
Yeah.
We'll get it on there.
Yeah, so Jess is behind the scenes right now. She's currently wearing a sweatshirt that says "Wreck everyone and leave," which is a mantra of the rest of Roman Reigns, but it's a mantra that
that we live by.
We all live by.
Absolutely love and live by. 100%.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but I love that she's wearing that. Thanks for being behind the scenes and listening to this entire absolute shit show of a session.
Hell yeah. That was dope.
Yeah, I could talk for...
I could eat a piece
for hours. Yeah, I could eat a piece for hours.
But we're gonna go get some food, guys.
Yeah, so we're gonna cut this short. We'll have additional separate episodes eventually of more with the Bone Crusher, more with Banji. We can talk about how he even got his name Banji.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get into that.
Oh man.
So thank you guys for listening. I got it real quick before we leave. I always talk about the big three, about being a better, happier, more stress-free person. So the first one is exercise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gotta exercise.
I love the fact that most of my brothers, if not all of them, exercise in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, on the daily.
You have to. It's so important for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being that you guys understand, and I love that you guys feel that too. So even if you're just going for a walk or jumping jacks in front of the TV while you're watching it.
I am hammered.
Yeah, we're all hammered, by the way. But anything you can do, exercise every day to better yourself. It'll help you physically. It'll help you emotionally. It'll help you mentally. I can't stress it enough. Try to exercise. Do something to feel that accomplishment in your life.
Yeah.
Number 2 is always don't be a shitty person.
Yeah.
Think about before you shit post somebody for real or you want to shit talk somebody in a serious manner. Think about somebody as a person. Think about that human being as exactly that. As a human being, it's very easy to get on social media or the Twit or Facebook or Instagram and shit talk somebody you never met before or interacted with before or know nothing about and shit talk them. It's very, I used to do it all the time.
It's very easy.
It's so easy. All you have to do is log into your Instagram and trash somebody and that's it. You log off and you're done. It's the easiest shit to do. Please remember that there's another human being on the other side.
And they may take it one way or the other.
Right. And at the end of the day, they use, whether they're a shitbag currently or not, they used to be a good human being. They were a child who had good intentions and good morals. And whatever reason, their life led to a life of corruption and crime or whatever it is, but before you shit talk
What are we talking about? The Kingpin right now?
Listen, I got a thing. You don't have to be involved in it, but this is my thing.
Okay.
What's number 3 again?
Yeah.
So, don't forget about people are human beings with hearts and emotions and souls and lives before you just shit post them or whatever.
Okay.
The third thing, the most important thing, is to be thankful and grateful
That's right.
for the good things you have in your life.
Thankful for the brothers.
And listen to me.
Brothers.
And I can't stress this enough.
Cheers.
The most thankful I am in my entire life, but without trying to get emotional or queer bait about it. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I support 100%.
Is my the good that you have in your life to be thankful and grateful for. My family, you guys, and my friends, and others around me that provide positive, good energy in my life. I can't be more grateful for that ever. There's nothing ever in my life that will trump that as far as what I'm grateful for. That gives me happiness and joy and de-stresses me or anything in my life ever. And I'll go to my grave to say that. And I know I'm a little drunk right now,
Saucy.
Huge
So
de-stressor, though.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Things like little stupid shit like that.
It takes your mind off everything.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know the reference.
Saucy.
And it makes me, like, it de-stresses me. It gets my mind off of the bullshit in this world. And the fact that you guys are physically here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I legitimately thought, like, it would be a long time before we got physically together to have, like, the technology available and you guys physically here to do an episode
it's
together.
Only like 40 episodes in. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're 45. 45 episode 45 right now.
Yeah.
That you guys were able
45
to... 45
and 46 probably.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to be able to do this, like, it makes me so happy in my life. Like, I hope you guys understand that, and I hope everybody who's listening or watching realizes that even the little things that you take for granted that are positive and good in your life, like, that make you happy, I hope you realize that those are the things that you should hold on to. And you guys coming down here to Virginia Beach into the trenches of war to watch
we had to get out here to the battlefield
for your freedom. I hope you guys all, identify those in your life, that stuff in your life, and appreciate it. Like, legitimately and genuinely. I talk about it every fucking week.
All right.
That if you guys appreciate that and enjoy that and be grateful for that, you'll have a better, happier, stress-free life. So, those are the big three.
For sure.
Thank you, too, for listening to my spiel at the end here.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening. I fucking love you all.
Stay strong.
Cut it.
And stay strong.
Yeah.